Hey, it's Nathan with Heart of the Dice. Thank you so much for listening to Session 3 of the Umbral Harbingers. We had a bit of an audio mishap in the latter half of the fight against the Corpseweaver Abomination, so some really crazy stuff happened. I'm going to jump back on the mic at that time to summarize some of the major highlights from all of our characters, and then the unexpected ending to this encounter that I think will keep you hooked for what's coming next. So thanks so much for listening, and enjoy Session 3. The Umbral Harbingers. Can I get a hello from everyone at the table? Hello!
Hello!
So, in one word, how are we feeling right now as you stand in front of King Grimthorn? What's about to happen next?
Yes.
How are the characters, how are the players feeling right now?
Concerned.
Concerned?
Yes.
Concerned.
Yes.
Excited.
Excited, says
Murderous.
Murderous. Good. I hope there's murder. Murder could happen. How about you, Ben?
I hope there's murder.
Concerned. Yeah.
Concern seems to be the right message. And why don't we go ahead and, for anyone that has no idea what's going on, my responsibility as your Dungeon Master is to get you all the way up to speed in, let's say, 80 seconds? I don't know, someone start a timer, we'll see if this works. Ready, set, go! In the world of Chrysalis, there are 8 stones that map to different forms of magic, with Black Jade being perhaps the most special of all, that of necromancy. 4 Black Jade lords are being terrorized by these massive necrotic beasts from the Umbral corruption at the heart of the Black Jade lords' apocalyptic wasteland. Our heroes gathered together on a journey, desperate to get to the heart of that Umbral corruption for each of their own personal reasons. But they first stopped in Widowsburg, where King Grimthorn and his zombie armies were living, trying to figure out what was happening with this Corpseweaver Abomination that was crawling through the wastelands and collecting different bodies in its wake. As they explored the city, stopped a few bandits, saved a wizard, met a priestess, and saved some dying zombies and humans, went outside of the walls, through a catacomb system, and eventually met up with King Grimthorn. He prepared, lumbering, stepping down from his perch atop his zombies to speak to them directly, saying, "You better have some explanation for coming into my domain." And of course, that is where we are now, on the outskirts of the walls of the Black Jade Lord's city of Widowsburg. How'd I do?
You're actually pretty good. A little
1
bit,
minute,
little
10
bit.
seconds.
Yeah.
Minute 10. All right, that's fine. I'm very happy with that. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started. This 400-pound zombified ogre stands before you, looming down, peering into each of you. He has these red eyes that glow like fire. He holds a scepter in one hand with a large black jade necklace, and behind him, roughly 80 to 100 zombies at his beck and call. He reeks of death. You almost unconsciously take a step back so as to separate yourself from the stench that swathes over you as the winds begin to pick up. As a reminder, in the sky above you, you see these souls drift in and out towards this bioluminescent substance in the sky, some moon-looking thing, as this shade-like barrier over the entire subcontinent of the Black Jade Lords seem to be populated by sprites and spirits. He looks at all of you, expecting a good explanation. What do?
Well, great. Awesome, guys.
Mr. Charisma?
We're the... what is something that alliterates with abomination? Abomination arbalists? We hear you have a Corpseweaver problem, and we're here to take it off your hands.
He looks at you closely, and I think why don't I have 2 of you roll insight to see generally how King Grimthorn is feeling right now?
Who's rolling?
I got it.
I've got 2.
I've got 4.
That will be a 11.
Winton with an 11, Cypress with a
7.
7. So, as a group, I think the sense that you get is he thinks of you as small and insignificant. He, of course, peering through you. You can tell that, I'll give you this with an insight, it's really more of a perception thing anyways, that he is actually smelling you. He looks at you, Mordecai, hesitates, smells again, then to Winton. And with your 7 and 11 insights, I will tell you nothing of what those grunts mean.
Awesome.
You can use your own human abilities. After which he says, "Get out of my way." And he simply raises his hand, holding it to the side, as if any other statement for him would be too much effort to get rid of you.
Orientation-wise, which side is he pointing? Is he pointing Corpseweaver side? Is he pointing back towards the walls?
Oh, sure. He's gesturing in such a way as to say, "Go back to town. I don't want to see you."
We desire to get to the Umbral corruption.
Coming right out and say it.
How does he... So, Grimthorn looks at you even more closely than before, Winton. His eyes narrow, like he's either thinking of something or he is upset by something, angry by something.
I think Winton's just angry right back at this point.
So do you emulate that? Do you display that anger to him? Do you
I don't
front him
think
up?
Winton can hold that back. I think he is really upset. Right
Okay, yeah. So why don't you let's just do a flat wisdom check. No save, just a check. We'll see kind of how you're feeling.
That's an 18.
Cool. This isn't intimidation. You're not trying to like scare each other. Yeah,
Okay.
I think this is more just like how well you keeping up your guys. And yeah. And he looks a little bit closer to you and says, "I don't like people like you. You defy us." And he's breathing heavily. Like with every breath, he has to actually work hard to keep this veneer, this visage of his corporeal form upright. I think that's all I'm going to tell you with that. He says, "We're preparing for an ambush, and I can't have you taking him away from here." He is, I'll just say he's immediately, you can detect that he's getting increasingly agitated, and there's a ripple of agitation from front to back in his horde of zombies. You'll hear them kind of in sequence go, and it keeps going all the way backwards, like it's reflecting from him, it's emanating from him.
Well, I mean, this doesn't seem like it's your biggest concern, considering half your forces are at Tombstep.
Interesting. He pauses, and he says, "I have plans bigger than Tombstep. Be gone, or else I will have to bring you into my own." And you can notice that without even a direct command, his eyes flash a more bright red. The Black Jade that is on his necklace begins to
Belt buckle.
shine. Bellow.
It's on his belt buckle.
Oh, that's right, on his belt buckle because it's and then you notice that his horde begins to slowly lumber forward. It's beginning to build over let's say the next minute or so. So you have some time to react to this. What will be effectively a semicircle that will surround you as 80 or so of these zombies come closer to you.
Do I feel any resonation from my Black Jade to his Black Jade?
Short answer, no. There's nothing that specifically keys you in on. Oh, we have a connection here with our Black Jade. It's you were just a guy, just a guy with a dream. What is everyone else doing at this moment?
I feel like Mordecai's really out of his element.
Yeah. Is there... Can I get a better sense of, like, the layout of the land that we have? Are we just, like, in this a wide open field kind of thing?
So, I'll tell you a little bit about what you can see from here, but why don't you give me a perception check, and I might give you more. So, what we've established last session was 50-foot walls. Y'all came down and under and around and came back to the outside of the wall where King Grimthorn is. So you're basically at the base of the wall, let's say 20 or 30 feet from it. Stone walls. Pretty tall, pretty strong. This This is the side that is most well fortified. The side that you came in from on the opposite side of the city is not as well kept. The Corpseweaver Abomination right now is roughly 300 to 400 feet away from you. You can hear it moving as its hundreds of legs, quote unquote, are along the ground. It's kind of a flat, long creature that is moving through the fields. It looks to be sensing for more food, which you know to be bodies. And as it finds a few of them that are still out there, you'll watch as it grabs it and then sucks it into its body, adding it to its mass. If you were to look, what was your number again?
15.
15. If you look, and I'll let one other person roll just in case. But Ari, you look out, trying to get a sense of the land here.
What check was it?
Perception.
I have 6.
Awesome. While you're doing that, with the 15, I can already give you this. Ari, you notice that as you look out over the land, it is marshy. There is a very slight decline. Let's say you'll lose about 40 feet of elevation across the football field, and then you get to what would be a marshy, wet, grassy land where there's what you'd expect from a swamp, but not so many trees. This will stretch for another half mile, after which you see that there is a river, and then beyond the river you see a more arid, dry, desert-like land. And if what'd you get?
22.
22. I'll say the only other thing that you see, Ari, is that about a mile out within this domain before the river is what looks like a few broken down buildings. With a 15, I'll say vaguely looks like that might have been like a farmer or maybe a windmill that's now destroyed, or maybe this was like a workshop of some kind, and that's like a broken down church. And you see that it looks like as things got worse in this area, people had to come into Widowsburg for more protection.
But nothing immediately around us, save for the wall.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open. I'll say a couple rocks and trees here. I mean, where you came up outside of the catacombs, there was like, I think, a rock or a few that you were using to hide. So that's what you see. And with the 22, you look beyond the river at a horizon of what might be 3 miles, and you see the beginnings of what look like the best analogy I can think of is like limestone constructed buildings that have large bricks laid on top of one another. Very large bricks. Imagine pyramids of Giza style bricks that have been constructed into some formation way off in the distance. I mean, like, to your perception, you know, hold up your thumb and it covers the entirety of these buildings. But with your 22, I can say you see that.
And how far out is the Corpseweaver?
About 400 to 500 feet.
Okay, before the river.
Yes. It's in the marshlands here.
And right now we're being surrounded by undead.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start like backpedaling, trying to keep as much distance.
From the last session, we remember that his strategy was sending zombies out to go kind of be like...
So by the time you get to him, he's finished this process. He sent, depending on your focus while that was happening, about 4 of these scouts. And what you'll recall from last session is he closed his eyes, put his hand around his Black Jade shard, and he saw through the zombies as they were being consumed by the Corpseweaver. He sent one with frost, another one with fire, and... Oh, while you were stealthing, why don't I let 3 of you roll perception with disadvantage?
I have +4.
I have
3.
+3.
I have +6.
Definitely you.
Okay.
With disadvantage?
That's not nat 20.
But disadvantage is
Roll it twice.
It
I know.
was a
yeah,
nat 20.
it was a nat
Was.
20. And now it's a 7.
What? High
Plus
number?
what?
13.
What's yours?
A 9.
+3, 10.
Okay. Just let me grab a few notes real fast. Okay, great. So there was, I'm so sorry, one more time, the highest number?
13.
13. You noticed, as you were trying to sneak, a little scared, a little intimidated by King Grimthorn as you came up, passing beyond you towards this creature, off 400 or 500 feet away, there was an explosion sound, and you heard, 13. It felt like some sort of bursting or explosion sound happened over in the Corpseweaver's direction.
So, my understanding is that we need to convince this guy to let us fight the Corpseweaver in exchange for what? in exchange for pass to the Umbral Corruption?
Yeah, so getting to the Umbral Corruption, people would know, and your characters would know this just from your conversation with Helsa or your time before you left Death's Draft, is that getting to the Umbral Corruption requires one of two things. Either you basically receive an escort. You need to have somebody with enough magical power to help you withstand the necrotic force of the aura of the corruption. So basically, someone with powerful enough Black Jade. That's pretty hard to find. For example, one of the reasons why humanoids still live in the Black Jade Lords, like the ones that you've encountered in the streets of the city of Widowsburg and others, is that people... A lot of downsides to living in the Umbral Corruption, living with the Black Jade Lords. But one thing that people don't talk about very often is that as long as you're under the purview of someone with a powerful enough Black Jade Shard, one of these lords, life's not great, but your life is itself prolonged. You die more slowly. And so there are people who, despite tough living conditions around these parts, do choose to stay. Now, the way that you earn favor with these Black Jade Lords, when they could always just kill you and resurrect you, is generally speaking, you have to prove yourself more valuable or worthwhile than a zombie. If you can be a farmer or a scientist or a wizard like Yerwin, then, or a healer like Beatrice, then you are someone that they'll actually keep around. But you're really, it's a very feudal king-like state. You are up to the dictator-like discretion of the leaders themselves, the lords themselves. And they each have their own different way of ruling, as you might see.
Can I make a check? I imagine it would be insight to get an idea of if I felt like we alone could take on the Corpseweaver, or if we definitely need his army or whatever ambush plan he has going.
Got it. This is more about your tactical capacity against the Corpseweaver?
Yes. I think so.
I'm going to make this investigation.
Okay.
Because you're trying to make sense of what you see.
Way better for me anyway.
So Ari is operating under all this information you've collected so
17.
far. With the 17, you look at this Corpseweaver, and I think one thing you detect is... this thing is dumb, and with the right plan, even a small party can defeat it. These are these newer creatures. No one's really gone into direct battle against these creatures yet. If you know what you're doing, if you bring the right resources or have the right strategy, you could do it just as a party. I'll say you're somewhat confident in that.
Okay.
However, these are very threatening. There are reasons why someone like King Grimthorn, with all of his troops, has taken things slowly. Although there might be more reasons than just that. You do not know them yet.
So, if you don't mind, can I try to read Grimthorn and how concerned is he about this? If we leave him to his devices and they fight it out, is it going to just kill a bunch of zombies and then we could maybe fight him? Or is he worried, and if we leave things as they are, we'll have to fight Corpseweaver plus 80 zombies worth of mass?
So that is a great consideration, because obviously this is something that you're worried about with the way this Corpseweaver works. Tom, roll insight for me.
Sure.
And as you're doing this is all happening very quickly. Ari looks out and sees the lay of the land. Cypress notices these constructions that are beyond the river. Tom is trying to catch insight. Ari's investigating whether you as a group can even fight this creature. How do you do? 4. Tom, you think to yourself, what really is this guy gonna do? What's the king gonna do? And I think you get this sense that he is. You are pretty confident that he's just a sadist. His main goal is to enjoy, literally, just take pleasure in his own zombies going to die at the hands of this creature.
Okay.
Because he can sort of live through them in their death.
Lord Grimthorn.
These zombies continue to move closer around you. I'd say they're about 20% surrounding you.
If you wish us to go back into this doomed town of yours, we will gladly do so, but I only have one question. Is this the only extent to your strategy? You will only have a certain amount of these minions at your disposal. Our group has come from a long ways, and in the short time we've been in this town, I think we have developed a strategy that can help you.
Roll your persuasion, but it's gonna be a tough one.
Wait, can I guide him?
Both are valid in D&D,
Okay.
so you can
Okay.
cast guidance on him.
I have a
and-
+6 persuasion.
Okay,
So,
you also
I'm-
have a plus
D4.
1d4.
These
Just
are
roll a
good-
d4 as well.
this is good stuff we got here. So Eri, the help action is
triangle.
literally, I'm just going to give him
thank you.
advantage.
Okay.
How are you helping?
Yeah,
him
so
with
I'm
this
gonna say,
situation?
look, you can send as many forces as you want out there. It's only weakening your army. You have better plans in Tombstep. Why don't you let us take the brunt of it? Let us be the sacrificial dummies that you send out there, and we'll weaken him at the very least.
We don't want them to go to Tombstep. What are you talking about?
Eri eyes Winton with daggers. So, yeah, Eri, why don't you roll? I want this to be in front of the table. Roll to see his assessment of your overall strength. High is good. High is always good for you.
What am I
It's just
rolling? Okay. Oh, good.
Am I
Just do
waiting
it.
to
I
roll
can
after
cast
this
guidance.
roll?
Can I cast guidance on her?
No, this is
Okay.
I'm lucking that.
This is why it's good for Eri to roll these.
Ah, Ayla.
Second roll is
A 6.
a 6. Yay! Well, I told you earlier he thought of y'all as
Yep.
pretty puny.
Okay.
So with that, I am still going to make the help stick.
Great.
Eri helps Mordecai. Cypress casts guidance. Go ahead and roll advantage due to Eri's statement, and then add the bless on top
Okay.
or guidance.
That's first one's a 12. 5, so we're sticking with 12, which
Okay.
is
12
right
plus
now.
1d4.
Yeah. 3,
Nice.
12, 15 plus 6, 21.
Sure.
Take it.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna apply a -4 to this sort of persuasion as a result of him not really thinking you was helpful at all. So I need him to roll lower. Well, sorry, I guess I'll say +4. He's rolled lower than your number, which is he just needs to roll
21.
lower than a 17 for you to hit.
Oh, great.
Cool, 16 to lower. Cool.
Oh.
You're doing good.
See?
You're doing good.
80%.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll in front of the table. As he stares at all of you, I'm gonna do this for fun.
Okay.
As he stares at all of you,
17.
Wait. Do I use my last luck point on that? I'll
Interesting.
use my last luck point.
Do it. It's
I
funny.
will allow it. That is not rules as written because this is a made
Oh,
up
you're right,
reaction
yeah.
sort of thing. But if you feel strongly, I will let you re-roll this.
I feel
Odds
like
are
this
well in our favor. if you
matters.
reroll
This
it.
matters, right? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
want to
gonna-
re-roll it?
Yeah.
As he reconsiders, right on the fence.
4!
4. Okay.
He
Loves us.
heaves a huge, dry, warm, breathy sigh that blows over all of you and reeks of death. Fine. What can you possibly do? What strategy have you come up with in the mere hours you have been in my domain? He leans back, and his zombie horde slows down in their posture. They seem to be waiting for him to give any explicit command.
Well, my lord, what have explosions done for you?
See, who was the one who said you'll run out of troops eventually? Was that you? Yeah. He looks at you and he says, "See, you're mistaken with one thing. I never run out of troops." And as he gestures, you see that there are other zombies who are carrying shovels. And they are going to what, just from an eye glance, because you happen to travel through it, looks like the catacombs that you were coming from. And along that, you see someone else. Coming from around the city walls, there is a man with a red, like, pretty clean tunic. So he's human, he's alive, just to be clear. We have to clarify who's a zombie and who's not in this world. He's got short black hair that's well groomed. He's got an armored chest plate, and he has, other than that, leather armor and greaves and boots. And this man has, and a saber at his side, just to clarify. And he has someone that he's holding bound by ropes as he walks and guides both of them towards you, 3 creatures in your direction. Ropes that Cypress tied. It's Sam and Carter, who have been brought from the city to face King Grimthorn's judgment. You see, Sam is basically unconscious. He is drifting in and out, blood from his head still falling and dripping onto the ground, leaving a trail behind him. And Carter is gagged and muffling in place. And he brings the 2 of them to the front and he says, Lord Grimthorn, according to my sources, these 2 went against your solemn decree by attacking our sovereign's wizard, Yerwin Evelclay, within the walls of the city. What is your judgment for them? And the 2 of them are thrust down to their knees in front of him. Sam bleeding from one side and barely lucid, and Carter trying to scream. And in this case, no one removes this gag. They're 30 feet from you, as they are looking directly up at Grimthorn, and the 2 of them, no insight required, are completely petrified. This is it for them. And I think they know it. Grimthorn looks down on them and he says, "What damage have they done?" And this man, you don't know his name, says, "Well, nothing was damaged at the scene of the burglary, but the 2 of them were seen holding Yerwin at knife point and trying to, quote, steal his best stuff. We don't know exactly how they came into arrest, but
We do.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
We saved Irwin.
He sort of
We saved the best stuff.
he brushes off his stuff. He's like, "And who are you?"
We are the Adventurers 5 of the Emerald Egalitary Theater Troupe. Yes.
You're a theater troupe.
That's what we came up
That's what we're going with?
All that time, and that's what you came
Don't
up with.
mind our friend. He says random crap out of pocket all the time.
This man he looks confusedly at all of you, but because you're carrying yourself with such gravitas, he's trying to decide if this is in fact real or if you're basically just pranking him. And I think he lands on not taking you seriously. This is the person that you are looking at right now. So
cool.
he holds these 2 bound but by their hands, gestures at all of you, looks back at King Grimthorn to try to get some sort of reconciliation. Grimthorn, almost bored at this point, doesn't respond. And this man turns back and says, "So, sorry, one more time. What exactly did you do?"
We killed one of them and brought him back.
We saved your town's wizard. The most important thing out of that entire thing that happened, Winton. We saved Yerwin.
We killed some bandits.
He is just roll persuasion.
We didn't kill a cockroach.
Which one of us?
I'll let Mordecai do it.
Oh, 9.
Come
on.
Guidance.
Yeah, you do still have guidance.
Guidance? Okay.
Yeah, why not?
It's a cantrip. I can cast it over and over again.
11.
Great. Now it's worth noting that guidance is very clearly visible. So you just like you have a little bit of extra charisma, and he's got a little beaming light around him as he speaks, and just a little beaming light. And Grimthorn looks and says, I won't make you roll insight for this. He is shrewd. When he looks, he's examining for tactical potential, and instantly, I'm just going to tell you this because he's about to speak to it. He looks at you, looks at the wound in Sam's head, and looks at Ares' back, where a short bow rests, and then says, "I think that they speak the truth. Why did you protect our wizard? Did you take anything from him?"
No.
We did not.
I caught everything with a mage hand. We sent him on his way
He
after
can
taking care of the
test that.
bandits. Yeah, get him on the phone right now. Where is he?
Sable says, "Dang it." The man says, the name says,
Freedom.
yes, you got the name.
We know everything.
Inside
There we
with
can
advantage.
scry him.
So the man turns back to Grimthorn and says, "Your lord, I did speak with Yoga. He said that there was nothing damaged, and in fact, they were able to reclaim all of his artifacts in one piece, returning it to him at the scene. Then they simply left, presumably for the church. And Grimthorn looks back at all of you and says, well, perhaps I was wrong, but fighting two street vagabonds is nothing when it comes to our plan for this creature. His lumbering arm, which has flesh dripping off of it, points in a direction of the abomination. And he says, now, I must enact my judgment. And he stands before you. I've been able to, with the help of Annie, give you a little bit of a visual reference for him. King Grimthorn, roughly 2.5 times the size of any of you as individuals. He takes his scepter, which has a split-edge, dual-pointed dagger on the front of it, like a spear. He hoists it in place, and he says, there will be no anarchy in my walls. And he hoists his spear, and then you see a flash in his eyes as the zombie horde closes in more around not just Sam and Carter and Sable, but the rest of you. He looks at the two of them as his eyes flash red. Time to pay your dues. And he's gonna hoist his spear with the intent to absolutely kill.
I do have a question.
Are you saying this in character?
In character.
You're gonna just say that as
Say
he's hoisting
it.
his spear?
Yeah.
Some people say, hey, wait. But, you know.
So you say this as he's hoisting his spear?
Yes.
And he...
Gutsy.
Fine, whatever. He will pause for just a moment. He says, don't interrupt me.
I just have come to notice as we are on this battlefield, the monster that you're about to attack assimilates the undead of your army that it eats, correct?
Yes.
So what does it do to living people?
It must kill to feed.
So you've experimented with living people before?
He pauses and puts down his spear.
Winton, we just saved him.
Sam is, Carter, his muffling raises in fever and pitch.
I want to kick him in the side real quick.
And he looks at you and says,
I want to glare at him just...
it will kill them, then eat them.
So there's an extra step that's required before it assimilates your undead creatures.
I want control. His Black Jade shard flashes and he raises his spear again. Last chance for anyone.
Oh, so you want him to feed the living people to the Corpseweaver to see what it does. You raised him from the dead for science.
5,
I'm so proud.
4, 3, 2...
Why not throw them to the Corpseweaver in front of your army?
He
So
says,
as bait.
I have a better plan.
What is it? Dang it.
His spear thrusts downward into Sam, skewering him and killing him instantly. And then he says, now you serve me. He twists the spear. Black Jade sparks as the energy shoots through the spear, and instantly you hear... Sam rises, standing up, grabbing along the spear until he has enough strength to rise himself into position, his eyes glazed over with decay, and he stands solitary, solemn, deadpan at the ready. He lifts his spear again. You will serve me! Last chance if there's any other choices. 3...
I walk away.
There's no stopping him. This feels like he really wants to do this, and I don't think we have any other say in what's going to happen right now. Yeah, there we go.
And Sam and Carter both die to his spear as he
Worst fate.
both stand and are now zombies for the Horde. Smaller than the average zombie and clearly less decayed, but they simply, unceremoniously, take steps until they join the rank and file
Looking
of all the others.
when I looked away as he was about to stab Carter, could I look at his belt where the Black Jade is?
Sure, yeah.
Like,
What you doing?
I want to see how is it latched on.
Sure. It is
Like, is the belt latched?
no roll needed. It is fastened as you would use a jeweler to fasten a gemstone onto a ring.
How's the belt fastened on?
It's through leather straps and belts.
How stealable does it look? Is what he's asking.
I think my short answer is not very, but anything is stealable in D&D. So I won't even make you roll. There's not much more to be gained from that unless you do something specific.
No, I just wanted to know that.
Yep. So as all of this happens, let's have someone roll just luck for the Corpseweaver. So high is always good for you.
Who wants to roll?
I'll do it.
Not me.
Doesn't count.
Okay.
There it
Never
goes.
counts. Never counts.
Well, all right. Then.
I'll do it.
No, thank you.
7.
7. At this point, you hear in the distance, about 400 feet, you hear as it starts to turn and smell the air. These, what do snails have?
Yeah.
It starts with
The socks?
Proboscis?
yes, but a different word. Doesn't matter. You start to sense the air and start moving in your direction at a very slight diagonal. I would estimate that it gets 100 feet closer, 300 now, roughly about a football field away from you.
How fast was that?
Moved 100 feet in one turn?
Not in one
pick.
turn. Over the course of, I'm not going to do the math for you. Let's say roughly 30 seconds or something like that.
Faster than us.
Okay.
So as he looks at you, back again, Mordecai says, "Anyways, I have a better plan than simply feeding corpses without a purpose." And he pulls in. He basically commands a zombie ogre to come forward. And this is like him, not as big, but this ogre has effectively a large leather cloak covering that covers its face. And as it comes forward, it has a large leather satchel. And inside of it, it begins to produce what looks like a black. It's not an orb because it's not made of plastic or glass. It is a bag that has a fluid in it, a viscous fluid that is also black, and it bubbles in place like you would expect hot tar to. And as it holds this ogre has come forward and is holding this thing, Grimthorn says, "We must prepare to fight." And I'm going to do a little bit of hand waving, unless you have any specific things you want to initiate right now. 3, 2, 1, cool. So what he prepares to tell you is that he really wants, more than anything else, to destroy this creature so that his people can be productive again, so he can maintain control of his land again. But over time, this creature has continued to feast on more and more of his creatures. If he goes in there and simply rips it to shreds, he will lose the capability to reclaim his soldiers. And so what he wants to do, using a combination of magic and a cleverly positioned ambush, he wants to crush it. He has a place that's in mind, a church that's about, you saw it earlier actually, about 3/4 of a mile from the walls on the outskirts. And apparently the foundation is really decrepit, it's about to collapse. So the idea would be lured into the home, assault it with bludgeoning damage, no slashing damage, maybe piercing damage if necessary, and definitely no radiant or holy damage. So as to completely dismantle it so that he could then use his Black Jade to reclaim his own troops. And he chuckles as he relates this, and perhaps some extra bodies it found along the way. And as as he relays this to you, you get the sense that if you were to follow through with this plan, it would involve just joining for the ambush, setting up on the outskirts of this church, luring it into position, and then sicking your forces on it. One more thing. Tom rolled earlier for insight. You've apparently won enough of his favor that he was willing to relay this plan to you. He's expecting you to contribute to this fight. He is going to give you another chance to see a little bit deeper into his motivations. I'm going to let two of you roll insight right now.
I've got 2.
I got this.
I got 2.
I got 4.
It's always gonna be them.
7.
A nat 1. I am angry at this man.
You get the sense that this creature only exists to feed and grow. His gluttonous appetite demanding more and more bodies for his hordes. It makes sense to you that he would want to collect these bodies so that he can have more troops in his army. And that is all I'm going to give you.
Exactly what Winton expects of him.
Yep. That is exactly right. And as he's talking, one more thing's going to happen, Winton. He looks at you as he's discussing how the bodies need to be preserved. And he eyes your crest, your sign of Tempest. Describe what it looks like.
It is essentially multiple different types of weapons crossed together in almost like, not an X, but like a multi-pointed star.
Gotcha. That's, first of all, very cool. I want to see that. And two, and I should probably switch back to Grimthorn so we can actually talk to him. He leans a little closer and says, "If you destroy my people," which you would infer to mean not just his immediate troops, but every corpse that is on the body of this Corpseweaver. He's like, "I will end you."
I want to channel the voices of the Black Jade.
Interesting. Let's talk a little bit. You're talking about the tethers, right?
The tethers.
Yeah.
The Obol.
So, for the audio listener, something happened off mic that is going to start to become relevant not only today, but going forward. We heard as each of these characters produced or found or purchased Obols tied to certain characters. And we got to see a little bit what that looks like when those characters take over them. So, the core mechanic that they're playing with is the ability to channel their Obols for two specific purposes. One is if there's a character, such as Tom having a connection to Audio Weaver, and they want to temporarily allow that tether to take over their body for an advantage, they have to spend a metacurrency, a resource which we call soul channel points. But the way they earn that is by fulfilling on those souls' obsessions or desires. If they willingly let one of these creatures overtake their body because of something that is character-driven, that that person obsessively wants, think of it as unfinished business for ghosts, then they will gain points what they can use for combat or exploration advantages. So to that extent, Winton, tell me what you're doing with this tether ability you want to use.
The voices that are in my head, I want to let them speak through my mouth. All of them.
No.
You want all of the voices in your head to speak through your mouth. Interesting. Or what are you trying to achieve with this? Just so
He
I
just told me
understand.
if I destroy any of his people, he will end me. I want to tell him he already did.
To intimidate him or to persuade him in order to believe you or to let him let you keep your holy crest or like what's your goal?
I'm essentially telling him that I'm more connected to the dead now than I want to be, and that has probably both strengthened my ability to manipulate the dead as well as weakened my ability to stop him from raising them.
You want to motivate him to not try to raise the dead?
I want to motivate him to. I don't want to say.
I'm trying to gauge how difficult this is really going to be for you.
I know.
So you can be ambitious, but it's a harder role.
I want to tell him that I'll do what I want, essentially. I want to tell him that
You don't want to ask for forgiveness. You want to ask for permission. Or you just tell. You just want to tell.
I want to tell him that I don't care.
I don't know what's going to happen. So why don't you roll intimidation with advantage. Use that one soul's channel point, and we're going to have the table play that out. So this time, this will be fun. Jordan is going to speak. He's controlling the voices after he speaks, everyone in a chorus is going to...
I got a unnatural 20.
Okay, good. Jordan was emoting to himself. So when Jordan speaks, everyone is going to repeat that in chorus as creepily as possible. There are canonically 7 voices in your head. I thought I might as well just give you that number. So this is about right. This room should be able to reflect it. So we'll give you for, maybe 20, 30 seconds the ability to say anything you want in these voices. King Grimthorn says, I will end you.
I'm already dead.
I'm already dead. He startles back. He looks down at your jade necklace and then to your mouth where this necrotic energy is shooting out in black smoke at the same time as it vibrates on your chest, pulling in different directions like it's being stretched by spirits. Everyone else in the party is probably notably concerned with this as the veins begin to bulge on your neck and body and you see black blood dripping, not dripping, but like flowing in your veins. Continue.
Hold on, that was just so cool. I blanked out for a second.
That's okay. Well, I would say that Winton is blacking out for just a moment.
It's your fault I'm this way.
It's your fault I'm this way.
You do not command me.
You do not command me.
And that's it.
He stands in place. And just as a reminder, Jordan rolled a natural 20 on this
Unnatural 20.
Modded.
Modded 20.
Okay, got it. And unnatural and a natural 20 are very
Okay.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, I like that. Dirty 20. So he startles back, and I'm gonna say, no roll required, he remembers you, Winton. This becomes such a strong memory for him, and he thinks to himself, and then he smiles.
Ooh.
Across his face, he says, you are dead because I ended you. And then he thinks to himself, he holds out a hand, a big, like grimy, slimy, gross hand. His large, bulging fingers seeking to grasp yours in an embrace.
Winton absolutely is glaring. He's going to grab the hand. He's going to... I don't know if he can't pull him closer. He pulls himself closer.
As Winton gets closer, and he's going to shake. It's one of those like toxic, masculine, firm handshakes where both persons trying to like squeeze harder than the other person. Why don't you give me like a contested athletics check here?
Okay.
Man, you
So
better
he has
not
plus
like
7
early.
to strength.
I know.
7.
He rolled 15. You feel your bones crack underneath the weight of his fist as he's squeezing it in place, and it hurts, but I'm not going to make you take damage. He shakes your hand.
So he laughs, he shakes my hand. I'm going to just lean up. I'm going to make you wish that I'd stayed gone.
He says, I like this guy.
Oh yeah,
glad.
me too.
Well, maybe we are more alike than I thought.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
He simply brushes aside and seems not to take direct offense to your Tempest sigil, much to your gratitude. I'm still going to clarify, just as a DM, it was obvious in his explanation of the plan that he will not be happy with you destroying corpses, but is basically trusting you. It's like this weird sort of like standoff trust. He's like, this guy's really powerful, but I do trust him because he sees the way we do. He knows what it's like to be an undead abomination. That's what you infer from all of this. So he looks at the rest of you, and anything else that y'all plan on doing before the ambush?
Winton's making friends.
Yeah, that makes like 5 now.
Wait,
Stands at the kings.
Well, there's
Okay,
a 7
so-
in his head, and then...
Oh, that's right.
So y'all knew that I was like cursed
Did y'all know that I was like? Did I just admit that I was dead to all of you, or did I say
Pretty
that
much.
before?
Pretty much.
No.
Up to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
guess
say, I'm
that's
gonna say,
fair.
right now, this is the first time that he's made it explicit. He's not just cursed to die with like his max AP going out and all that jazz. He has literally already been dead and is only alive because of the Black Jade on his neck. I think this
Kinda
might be
sick.
especially notable for Tom and Ari.
Yeah.
Kind of sick.
Aries quiet and
Kinda
is
sick,
making
like,
a
cool, or
mental
kinda
note to
sick,
talk
like-
about that later.
Okay.
Dying.
So I'm gonna say King Grimthorn is going to assemble his troops, and you silently move out, taking a very roundabout flanking maneuver until you position yourself outside of this broken down church. You see smashed windows, an entire sort of a little tower that's been toppled to the side. You see some graves and tombstones that are on the outskirts of the actual building, and then a small white picket fence that's completely destroyed, but that is laying in strewn pieces around it. It hasn't been used any long time, you could presume. And he's going to set up his troops, but this gives you like a bit of a breather, which does two things. One, you can be wherever you want in this house. We'll actually set up for the ambush in a little bit, but this also gives you a short rest. So go ahead and take one short rest as is relevant for abilities and feats and other skills. And then also, as this happens, you have some time to yourselves. You have roughly an hour before the ambush. He's clued you in on the fact that they're going to use a powerful flesh-like scent in order to lure the Corpseweaver Abomination to this location, and that what he wants to do is crush it underneath the weight of the building. So, you have an hour to yourselves.
Can I find any sort of relevant sword? Like, not when I say relevant, I just mean something that's intact.
Yeah, so you have a mace already.
I'm just like in here in the broken down area.
Yeah, so would there be a sword that is usable?
Even if it's
In the
not,
church.
even if it's not usable, just a blade.
Yeah, sure. I rolled a 1. You find that this was a church of pacifists. You see doctrines, you see little statements that have been thrown out in little slips of paper that are like in the pews and sort of like underneath the pulpit, and they're just blanket statements as to how violence is always wrong, and that Kellenvor beseeks death that is of the most natural order, and you have no idea what the people in this church used to teach.
Emblazoned over the door is "Rest in peace."
Ooh, I like it, yes.
During the short rest, I let Kita possess me. Is that something that I can
Tell
do?
me what you want to do as you're channeling a soul here.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily want to do anything, but this would be a time when Kita, who has been our servant this whole time, is obsessed with keeping things clean and helping people prepare, and I think would have Ari essentially go around and do that. Make sure
Yeah.
armor's polished, make sure weapons are sharpened, try very hard to stay out of people's way. It would just kind of change her demeanor in this
Yeah,
time.
that seems perfectly fine for a point. Go ahead and you'll spend that point, and let me know if you wanted something like very specifically mechanically advantageous out of this. You mentioned like maybe like sharpening weapons.
Yeah,
or helping people.
I know we're using piercing.
Mostly bludgeoning. The goal is bludgeoning
I
damage.
see.
That's why building crush. Zombies are mostly unarmed, but if they are armed, they're using mostly blunt weapons like
Got it.
maces or hammers or shovels. And then, other than that, only piercing if necessary, but not slashing damage.
Okay.
And certainly not other forms of permanent destruction like radiant damage. Yes.
Are we? So we're in the church. Is that where we're short resting?
Yes,
now?
you're
In the
short
church?
resting in the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I look around and see like all the points of foundation, like that's keeping
Yes.
the building up?
Yeah, absolutely. This is just an investigation check.
Oh, okay. So investigation +4. All right. 15 + 4, 19.
Yeah. So you see that as you're looking at all these points of foundations, we're just going to keep things simple. There are 4 major columns that need to be toppled in the corners of the church. The church itself is, let's say, roughly congregation size 100. So it's not tiny, like Little House on the Prairie tiny. It's not huge. It is. I'll just roughly estimate about 9 rows, 2 wide, 1 nave, kind of down the middle with the aisle, no wings, just a single sort of rectangular church. And these, but with a hole in the ceiling, right? It's been badly battered. And these 4 columns, you notice that both King Grimthorn, has already started commanding his troops to begin basically tying ropes around certain parts of these columns, which they're going to tether to certain anchors, these zombie ogres that are going to be responsible. They're going to be the muscle responsible for pulling it apart. But he's also intentionally weakening it at certain points where he thinks that it needs to fall more swiftly or cleanly. He's already doing this during your hour preparation.
Okay.
So,
And with your, what'd you roll again?
19.
With a 19, I'll just say, you see that he's, well, let's roll. How well is he doing? He rolled a 16, so he's doing all right. Like, his plans seem to be coming together all right. I think you can identify a few places where he can improve the trajectory that the building falls effectively. So do you recommend that to him?
Can I engage actually like at that or into like a new idea with Grimthorn?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you walk up to him as he's commanding his troops. Yeah.
Excuse me, Lord Grimthorn, I have a quick inquiry with you. Okay, so I've seen you in work, in action, out there, out in the field. You are not afraid to send in a few troops with some explosives, are you?
It's more effective than you might expect.
Okay, well then, if I may just come into this. You have your 4 biggest hitters all tied to these columns. I'd rather use that in case we need it for much more muscle if this place is going to come down. Why don't we strategically place 3 troops around each column, 3 smaller ones, all with explosive. And on your mark, when we lure it in here, we topple the building down, and as it's trapped, we have our bigger hitters coming in from all sides.
Instead of role-playing this, I'll kind of go quickly back and forth with you. He doesn't have access to real explosives. You will learn this just from talking to him, but part of his plan includes using what is a plague-like combustible necrotic and poison damage that is not a fiery explosive. It is a bomb, but it's not a fiery explosive bomb. It is a bioweapon. That's that black pustule that I mentioned earlier.
And his plan is to use that to knock over. Oh, he can't use it to knock over pillars because it's goo. It's not.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's lame.
So I have mold earth. Would it be possible to kind of undermine these pillars further to make it so that you don't need a whole zombie ogre?
Absolutely, and I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So if
Let's
you want to
go.
cast Mold Earth, Tom, you look underneath and you see that there are obviously places where the earth is softer and gives way. The foundation has been withered. Swamplands in general make foundations much weaker, so that's I think what he's trying to capitalize on is this like foundation is weaker. So I'm not even going to make you roll. Mold Earth is Mold Earth, baby. You can find a spot and then you can start removing earth from it to compromise the integrity a little bit.
Yeah. Before we do that, just as a party, are we doing this? Like, is our plan to just work with them?
I think so.
I think we should.
We have the advantage of having them
I
on
don't
our
trust
side.
kings. We should at least get some sort of promise that he will help us out if we do this for him.
Yeah, we'll say you're separated in the building you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't like him at all.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
We're on a majority that we don't really like him. He doesn't really like us. We just got really lucky. But
Somehow he likes me. It is disturbing.
this is a weird tree we have here, but we need...
Treat.
alright.
This is a weird tree we have here, but I'd as selfish as to say, well, we're not really looking for any... We don't need money here.
We need passage.
We need passage. I think he can at least offer us that.
But we need to get that offer
We
before.
need to do that sooner rather than later.
Here's another option. Just throwing it out there. You want to say something before I keep going?
Well, no, we can continue this, and I just want to resolve the Kita thing before we end the short rest.
Yes.
King Grimthorn is one of the largest threats to the Ruby Empire. I understand many of you aren't fans, but what we need to get deeper into the Black Jade Lords is not necessarily his approval, but a significantly powerful enough Black Jade. One that Grimthorn has on him.
I like what you think.
If we manage to kill both him and the Corpseweaver together,
So persuade him to somehow...
put him in a position where he dies.
Just based on our interaction with him, how likely do we think that we say we wanted to straight up attack him without any like strategery? Could we beat him?
With his 100 troops?
Say, like, after the battle, some of the troops have been killed off by the Corpseweaver and whatnot.
I guess just give me an investigation check. You're sizing up his army, basically. You're trying to evaluate hundreds of factical variables all at once.
Do we even know that he can be killed? He's the king of the undead.
He's dead. We know he's a zombie.
Right.
18.
But
Black
the
J-
zombie's proven to be.
Black Jade Lords rise and fall all the time. There must be a way.
What was the investigation?
18.
18. So you know that his number one strategy is to win by numbers. He's going to take his zombies and he's going to throw them at you, and you would lose. You would almost definitely lose if you try to fight 80 zombies at once. Okay. Some are tougher than others, but you would probably lose. Could all 5 of you fight only him by himself? Well, you do know that he fights at the front lines of his troops. So he is tough. He can back a punch, pretty strong, good with the spear. Other than that, your gauge of 5v1 is, yeah, maybe.
So what if it's a matter of winning his approval now so that we can take residence in his city closer to him and then plan an ambush at a later time?
Or we convince him to put his troops in harm's way and then kind of let them be in harm's way.
Or we manage to get the Black Jade gem, and then it's not his troops, it's our troops.
Or we convince him that if he could probably take over this giant living mass of human flesh the way he took over Sam and Carter.
He's wanting to do that. He wants to.
Well, then lead him into the church. We hold down the fort. He hops on. We can convince him either, and then we take out the column and supports ourselves. Crush them both at the same time.
Well, I think his plan is to crush it and then take it over, because then it'll be dead. Like, could we... I like what you're thinking. If there's a way that we can set a trap.
Convince him that he wants the beast under his control, as is the beast, instead of a giant massive
We
zombies.
would have to be sure that the moment he's dead, we are there to reclaim the gem. Not somebody else, not one of his minions.
Sure. To that end, is there anybody else other than Sable with us?
Currently, no.
But the zombies could be the ones who want to take it. Or are they like...
Are they mindless?
Yeah, mindless or...
Short answer, yes.
Okay, so
The more that Grimthorn is focused on them, the less mindless they are.
So once
you could
he's-
infer that
So
they
once
are
he's dead.
both his eyes and ears, maybe, and also that he can command them if he exhibits explicit, essentially cognitive control.
Yeah, I mean, we can always just punt it. We can try to get it later. Do we have any reason to fight him other than...
No.
He's a king
Yeah.
and tyrant ruler.
Okay.
So other than, to establish 2 ways to move forward, just to keep things nice and crystal clear, this creature, Black Jade, absolutely has to be powered by some powerful form of Black Jade. You would infer that it might be on its body. So killing it is one way into the Umbral corruption, maybe. Grimthorn, Black Jade, has a really powerful Black Jade. Where did he get it? Nobody knows. But it's one of the largest Black Jade in the region. You can infer that he would have gotten it closer to the source of the Umbral corruption. You might infer that the aura that his sort of life-prolonging capability gives would, 1, Winton, stave off your immediate death, but 2, actually allow you to get closer to the center of the corruption.
I think we should consider this a plan B. I think
it should be plan A.
We have his trust.
Let's weaponize it.
Let's weaponize.
We perceive you have his trust, yeah.
We perceive that we have his trust, or at least
Winton-
he likes. At least
Winton
he
has his
really
trust.
likes Winton.
You're the linchpin, bud.
Right.
We have a rogue.
And
You like stealing things.
do I?
I think you do.
More of a natural talent.
You are a great thief.
When I have to be, but I don't think that we
Remember
have
the
to
camera?
Camera? You've stolen before?
be. Anyway,
We almost did.
We didn't need to. Things were...
So you
Is
are
this-
not
is
students
this
and
an
you are not
appropriate
thieves.
Hey, this is an
Correct.
appropriate question. Does Grimthorn like to eat? Is he like a gluttonous dude? Like he's a zombie. So what does he eat? Does he not eat anything?
I can't. I guess first roll a nature check.
Not me.
This is my approximation of your character's knowledge of zombies.
Wait.
Yep.
Lots of
No character.
zombies
I
in
don't
the
have guidance
Opal.
anymore, right?
I'm gonna ask a question to someone.
probably
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Okay.
10 plus. I just saw this.
This is a tough check, just to let you
3.
know.
13.
So, with all living things eat, All living things eat.
Oh, great.
They have to
awesome.
get sustenance from something. I say eat it in quotation marks. There are animated things.
Do you also say living in quotation marks?
Right.
Yes, yeah. All
Okay.
living. All,
Okay.
all quotation marks. Living quotation marks. Things quotation marks. Eat
Great.
quotation marks. And I think all you know is that his personality is gluttonous. He clearly wants more and more and more. The way he eats, you don't know. You haven't watched him eat yet. If you want to just stick around for a few more hours, you can see how he
We're not,
eats.
we don't have that
He
time.
seems to be focused on this really big thing that's about to happen in about 30 minutes.
What's your idea with him eating?
I was like, I could harness the power of one of my tethers, who like very passionate about cooking, and make a really big meal. Hopefully, like sway him over while he's distracted. We could take the Black Jade.
Just give him a food coma and then
Just give him not a food coma,
something
but
right
like,
in.
Normal coma.
a normal coma. But I don't think we have the time to do that.
If the
so.
plan is to kill them both together, I'm on board. But
Yes.
I don't think that it would be wise to just try to steal it from him blindly.
He has us on board. Maybe the main plan should be we get his trust, we finish this thing off, the big threat's gone, and we try to steal it later.
Tom, why don't you roll me luck for the Corpseweaver? Let's see if it happens to randomly be coming in your direction.
She's flustered.
Yeah. I'm resolving this. We'll do Ares thing in a second.
Nat 20.
Woo!
So high's good.
Great.
High's always good. You have as much time as you
yes.
need.
Cool.
Nat 20, you are certain that it is very far away. Yes, Ari, you
Um,
wish to summon Kita.
Yes. So with her polishing armor and basically helping us prepare for this battle,
Yeah.
tell me if this is too strong and I can scale it back.
Okay.
But I would like to give each party member a
Okay.
D4 to
Okay.
reduce incoming damage
Okay.
as a reaction.
Oh, right.
So
We'll make you roll to see how many of the players
Okay.
you can get.
what am I rolling?
Let's do. So Kita. So tell me about Kita. Where's the skill coming from?
Yeah, so Kita is a servant girl. She's
Mm-hmm.
used to taking care of the palace, of the grounds, of the guards' armor.
Yeah.
She is very well versed in armor and like polishing methods, strengthening methods, weapons, that kind of thing. So she would be diligent in making sure that we are prepped for this
Yeah.
battle that we would be going
So
to.
tell me, what does that look and sound like? So you see as Ares' body changes posture, her tone shifts, and she seems to be fluttering about doing something. What does that look like?
She's certainly much smaller. I would describe her as mouse-like. She's very quick and quiet and to the point and trying very hard to stay out of everyone's way. Very quiet voice. Sorry. Can I just get in? Sorry, let me get in here.
So you see as Ares coming up to each of you and is asking you to basically polish or maybe like mend your armor.
Yeah, mend, polish, just making sure that like checking all of the
Yeah.
facets, making sure that nothing's damaged.
Yeah, and I know that some of you don't actually wear armor. This is our sorcerer friends, and that's it.
No,
I
I don't wear armor.
And
I wear armor.
you don't wear light armor as a.
Oh, hang on. Maybe I did.
It's likely you
It doesn't
do.
matter. What I'm saying is, I'm hand waving. We're gonna say that whatever Kita's doing is relevant to you. Maybe mending your
a
light
cloak,
your
yeah.
cloak in
Leather,
such a way
yeah.
to give you a higher dexterity advantage on defense. Or we're just gonna say it's armor quotation marks like everything else. So that way we can roll evenly.
I'm
Yes.
going to cast Aid on Mordecai, Tom, and Ari. Would each of you get +5 temporary hit points?
Okay, so tell me what aid looks like. Well, think about what aid looks like. Let's resolve Kita's thing here. So Kita goes to each of you. You see that Ares is behaving in a bit of a bizarre way as Kita comes up and is attempting to adjust your armor. Do any of you say anything to this, or you just let her do it?
Oh, well, thank you. I don't.
Of course, I'm here to serve whatever you need.
Yeah, so Kita continues. She's like fluttering about like
My
a mouse.
armor's never
Each
looked
of the rest
better.
of you.
I'm unsure of what's going on.
Sorry, can I just adjust this? And she fiddles with a strap on your
I
shoulder piece.
guess.
Winton seems a little weirded out that Ares suddenly displaying a little bit more like earnestness and affection towards him, or at least care for him.
Is this how you go about stealing things?
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm here to help.
Jesus. Providing aid before a battle. Normally I'm the
Yes.
one doing thank you, I guess. Okay.
Yes, then she goes to Cypress.
This is new.
Well, I don't want you injured, so can I just adjust this?
Sure, I guess.
Good luck. I'm concerned about you all, but I know
I'll
that
be
you're gonna
fine.
be fine. I
I'll
know
be
that
fine.
you'll come back from this.
Awesome. Yeah, we're sorry, we're standing with
Okay.
Jordan here. Cool. And then if there's any other comments, let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna have
Pretty much
you
right,
roll.
Amina.
So we'll give her proficiency, but as a low level commoner, it's just gonna be +2, as if she were like a level 1 character. +2 to a sleight of hand roll, which will give her a +1 on top of that. So you're rolling a d20, +3 is your mod, and then I'll tell you how well you do with all these guys.
Nat 20.
Ah.
Really good at fixing armor.
So, Ari, you have this bizarre out-of-body experience because as you're thinking to yourself, like, I wish Kita were here. She would do a great job of preparing everyone's armor. She's got such a knack for focus on detail. And then your soul leaves your body, and you have literally an out-of-body experience. Your spirit, as it floats around, is not visible to everyone else. Like, it's not like, oh, there's Ari's soul in the air. But you are out of body, watching Kita inhabit you, and you recognize instantly by her gait and her posture and tone and the I'm sorry, as she goes to each person. They're all kind of all reacting a little bit weirdly to this, but you are possibly just the most proud as she
Absolutely.
nails it. And mechanically, come on, I give everybody 2 d4s to your armor, and you can only use one at a time, and it doesn't cost a reaction, but you can do it. You can do it after the damage is rolled. Does that make sense?
Okay.
After the damage roll, you're like, I'm gonna roll a d4 to reduce the damage that I took, per what Ayla had mentioned. Great, very cool. So you and in universe, the rest of you, you're like, yeah, this feels really good. Like I feel like
I didn't
ready.
notice that was loose.
I'm ready to go. Yeah, exactly. You're like, I didn't even realize that. I feel lighter weight, or I feel more densely protected.
more
you know?
agile.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I think as this is going on, Tom is trying to figure out what's happening. Because I guess we've seen some of this before, but usually it's Winton who's the possessed one. And so I guess see if I could figure anything out arcana-wise. Like, is there an external influence on her?
Yeah.
Or is this an airy thing, or what's happening?
Give me a pretty easy. Well,
Because I think at this point I haven't been possessed.
is this arcana? You're trying to make sense of what specifically is happening, or are you just trying to get the sense of if this is airy or like what's going on with airy?
Well,
What are you trying to?
Tom doesn't really care what's going on with airy. Tom
So
cares
it's
about
arcana.
what's going on
Yeah.
in the Black Jade Lords.
But you're an int build now, right?
No, I never switched it over.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
so
I
it
have
means-
plus 4. It's
Okay,
fine.
yeah,
I have
Arcana.
proficiency. Yeah. So that's 19.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So here's what you think. Your memories kind of flash back to some of the discussion that you and Adia had in her lab, and one of the things that she would express to you is that one unique trait of Black Jade is that it's a very transient stone. It's constantly storing things and sending them elsewhere. And one inference you could make from that is that it is almost designed for things that are moving from one state to another, from life to death or back again. It can store and then release energy, and as a result, an inference that can be made about how necrotic powers possess souls is that they can quickly switch out for something else. And so with a 19, I'm just going to say, you remember this, you're applying this to what you see in Airy, and you're like, I can already tell that this isn't really Airy behavior. Is this something from the aura of the corruption? Is there something from King Grimthorn's Black Jade specifically? Is it from this Corpseweaver that's going on? And I'm just going to tell you this, you are certain that it's from the aura. It's from the Umbral corruption. Being in this area with the spirits overhead, it literally possesses people and makes them behave in ways that they wouldn't otherwise. And you dutifully take notes of these things as you think, okay, the aura has innate power and pushes, tethers, as you've now learned from Helsa and through these Obol, like the Obol trait on Vespera, like it pushes souls in and out of the body. How much of it is user controlled? Well, that's something that hopefully you'll all directly experience yourselves, but that's what you learn.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So let's say there's about 15 minutes left before the ambush is set
I
to begin.
cast aid on those 3.
Okay, aid gives you temporary HP. You have this buff to your armor, which is pretty tight.
No, not
And-
armor, just HP.
Oh no, from Kita's
Oh.
stuff. So HP, armor on reaction, pretty dope. That's a tankiness up. What about Boulder?
Yeah. So if our primary plan is to kill Corpseweaver, I think I just play it straight. I'm not messing with anything special. I'm just weakening the pillars so that we don't need the ogre zombies to be tied to the pillars. It's something a normal zombie can pull.
Okay, so plan is make it easier to pull.
Yes.
Right. And given like an extra minute, I would love to take a look at Winton's necklace. Now that I've had this insight that Black Jade is something that pushes and pulls energy, and before in Adia's lab we knew that it seems to absorb mass, if it as well as energy from like blood and bone. And I wanted to see, just like look at it closely, check it, and then at some future point I'll want to check it again to see if it is kind of increasing in size or decreasing in size, to see whether it is feeding on Winton or whether it is preserving him, I guess.
Winton, you see as Tom walks up to you, he expresses this interest.
You want to look at my necklace?
Yeah, it's magic.
You will not take it off of me.
No.
Fine.
Winton leans forward and allows Tom to take a closer look.
Reclaim Imperial Legacy. On brand.
So,
Why? I want to keep going with this for a second.
oh yeah, sorry, go ahead, yeah.
Is there... You've already claimed that you're not students. Is there anything that you can get from just looking at this?
No, they're not students. I'm a student.
Okay.
Actually, like an assistant professor. But
Oh, so you should know stuff about this.
no, I'm learning stuff about this.
What does my necklace tell you?
Well, it's magic. It's the source of those veins that you've got going on. And over time, I'm trying to figure out whether it's eating you or whether you're eating it.
Let's answer that question. Tom, now that you are closer to it, and I'll let you continue, but I'll just kind of put this out there. You, when you first met him, you tried to gauge it from a distance, and your assessment was, oh, black veins? Probably not good. Since you're closer, I'm going to let you re-roll that investigation with advantage. But, sorry, I interrupted Jordan. Please continue.
This is honestly most likely the only reason I still draw even a facsimile of breath. But I feel myself losing myself to it every day.
Interesting.
That is all
All right.
I know.
Give it that investigation check with advantage.
That's a 17. Is that right? Yes, that's right.
Okay, 17. You look closer, and Tom, with the 17, I'm going to give you this much. This Black Jade is geologically one stone, but based on your studies of shards at this Lunar Conservatory, it does not behave like one stone. And with a 17, I'll just say it behaves like 3 to 10 stones that are just mashed together, but there's no seams. It really does look like one crystalline structure. So that's peculiar to you. And then the only other thing that I'll give you is that there is energy. You're able to benchmark the size and the let's just call it kind of the potential energy that you're observing in it. We've described as Cypress can like listen to the specific frequencies of stones in the past. You're doing a weaker version of that. You're just like, okay, this is about how much total volume I'm hearing from this. And after all that's said and done, you're able to document what that is. You have your own note-taking version for that because of what Adia taught you. And you can now check it later to see if if it is getting stronger or weaker, and you can obviously measure that against what Winton is experiencing.
Well, Professor, am I dying even more than I already am?
You're already dead. I have no idea.
Are you making fun of me right now?
I think you're quoting Grimthorn?
Is this our
No,
situation?
I'm quoting him.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you're talking about when I let the voices in my head possess me?
Yeah.
I'm disturbed that happened. I did not mean that. I think in my anger I let that happen.
I see.
It was not on purpose.
It worked out well.
I am not
You
happy that
you have a
it
new
did.
friend.
I am not happy about that.
Awesome.
So what is our plan?
What's our plan?
Okay,
For
I'll say the
Grimthorn.
5 of you move to a corner of the church. We're saying we're 5 minutes away. He is preparing his troops. You know that the plan is they have effectively a stink bomb that is very like a carrion flower. It's very fleshy. He's going to attract this creature to your location.
Great.
They're going to detonate that in about 5 minutes.
In my time in the army, the best way to go is normally the path of least resistance. At this point, that's not Grimthorn, but focusing on the Corpseweaver. Would you like to try to convince Grimthorn to kill himself on the Corpseweaver?
I mean, if we can get him to kill himself, that'd be great.
Are we beyond making sure he'll grant us passage after we kill this thing for him?
I mean,
I guess
he
that could
he
work,
probably would. But if we can take him out too, that's a win-win. Take him out
Yeah.
and get the...
To Aries' point, just to make sure that this is yet another option to consider, you don't have to steal the Black Jade if he's just like with you. If he escorts you, you have the aura of protection that allow you to get closer. That is an option. I have no
I don't
idea
want to
what
spend any more time with him.
Grimthorn would be aware that this Corpseweaver would have a Black Jade in it, or would we be able to kind of loot the body before he notices?
Huh. Two of you roll insight.
Oh,
I
inside.
think that's Justin.
9.
So I rolled whether he knows.
Okay.
That's secret, obviously. 10 is your party's highest. You as a group think he could know. He's smart, and he's also planning something that we don't fully understand.
There's no
And
way
that's
he
it.
doesn't know. There is no way.
We have to work on that assumption.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You, as far as I've seen in this party, are the speaker for the group. Would you like for me to go talk to him to get some form of guarantee from the Abomination?
I mean,
I might
I
want to
think-
throw a bardic inspiration your way.
I think we could try to kill him. And I think the heat of the battle is the best time to do it.
Would
Yes,
we
we
like
know
to?
you want to kill him.
I do like killing kings.
If we kill him, his power
is in that
is
stone
what's
that we can
sustaining
steal.
all of these people.
Well, yeah,
Do we
but the
know how to
stone's
sustain
power is
Unnaturally.
what's sustaining all of these people. We won't kill the stone.
Yeah, we'll
my
keep the
my
stone.
issue isn't that. My issue is I don't want him to kill us. And right now, he's probably not going to try to kill us. But if we go try to steal the stone, he's gonna start. You know earlier when he impaled that guy and turned him into a zombie.
I don't
that, but me.
I don't want to steal the stone. I want to let the Corpseweaver kill him. And
To
we can
answer
take
your
those stones
question-
after we kill the Corpseweaver.
Grimthorn is a ruthless dictator who seeks nothing but to add to his lands and conquer everything around him.
Says the Ruby Empire soldier.
The Ruby Empire
He's a
desires peace.
You are
We
biased.
bring
Right.
we
Anyway,
if we
He
allow.
is not sustaining these people. The stone he wears around him is. He is subjugating these people with the power of that stone.
I would just like to put out here real quick about a little anxiety I have because I have no fighting experience with monsters whatsoever. I'm afraid of death, and I have 2 daggers, my fists, and nothing more to my name. So I'm along for the ride. I just want to put that out there.
Professor, why did you bring a civilian?
He didn't bring me. I came along.
He
Why'd
is
you
our
come?
passage.
Because my friends are here. Why did you bring him?
He's our passage here.
He's
And
a-
he's more valuable than he leads himself. He will be a good asset to us.
No combat experience, afraid of death.
He's got a camera.
I got a camera.
We could put the stink bomb on him.
Or an
He
illusion.
can be bait.
Yeah.
Or how about I can make an illusion and a scream of some kind to get it in. You know, there's more to me than just standing there.
Can you create a
I would have
Uh,
fought directly alongside Mordecai, right? In Krya?
Not in Krya. He wasn't there for that, or he'd be dead.
Okay.
Can you create a convincing
yeah,
enough
okay.
illusion of the Black Jade on his belt, or a Black Jade in the
If
creature?
I'm within 30 feet of him, I sure can.
We don't think he'll see through that.
He would feel the power. He would feel that the power's not there.
He would realize that he doesn't not have control over 80 zombies.
Yeah.
All right.
I say our best bet is to try to get him to fall to the Corpseweaver. And as many of his zombies as we can.
I think that's a fine plan as long as we can ensure that he doesn't realize that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, but the thing is, the Corpseweaver eats zombies. It's going to be one zombie ogre and then the other 4 zombie ogres and then the 80 zombies bigger.
Yeah, and then we still crush it. His plan is a good plan. How do we get him on the inside of it?
I could try to convince him.
I mean, yeah. It's worth a shot, and if it all fails, then
You,
we just
I
keep
trust your
crushing it.
words. You have managed to convince people so far that I've seen, at least just through words alone instead of
What am I supposed to do? Just walk up to him and go, "Hey, what if you did it out of honor?"
tell me what to say.
Go do it out of honor.
Okay.
So the party back and forth, stressing about the decisions that they have coming up. It seems as though there's kind of a split, not in the party's desires, but in the tactics they wish to take to go forward. I think chief among them, plan A, is go with the plan as stated, presuming or feigning allegiance to King Grimthorn in this fight, but trying to manipulate the circumstances of the battle to put Grimthorn in the position where he might be crushed by the church or killed by the Corpseweaver in the heat of battle.
Yes.
I want to. So I want to kind of nod, and I want to start walking towards King
He's
Grimthorn.
not
If anyone
going to-
wants to stop me,
Wait, he is not going to outright do that. He's the dictator. He's the link. Like he has no, like, as far as I'm concerned, there's no honor besides just having power over.
But
these
we know he
Why
does
are
like
we-
fighting frontline.
But
He
Has
does.
to, and
But we
might
know
take
he's
on
not
it.
stupid. He's not going
Right.
to stand in the middle of the crumbling church when the plan
Why
is
are we
to
taking
knock
this
over the
risk
crumbling
now?
church.
Why don't we postpone the risk if we have to take it?
I agree with
after
Eric.
I know
Yeah.
that you want to kill the king. I get that, but
Yes,
we have bigger problems
but-
at the moment.
If we postpone it, the odds are stacked against us. Here we have another force
That's
that's
if the
weakening
original
him.
plan doesn't work. That's saying that our plan B has to be the only plan that we go with.
What do you mean the original plan?
The plan is that when we kill this Corpseweaver, we A, get the black gem off its body, or he grants us passage with his gem. That's probably going to work.
I'll go make the deal for the passage.
Let's go make a deal for passage.
Okay. I want to.
Bardic inspiration on this
I
dude.
want, I want to walk
Please.
up
We
to
have to take this
Grimthorn
risk.
Can I cast
This is
in the last
amazing.
5
I love
minutes.
this.
Can I cast Bardic Inspiration? I want him to have all the persuasion he needs to do it.
Can I cast guidance on myself as I walk up?
You can. There's a chance he'll know that you cast guidance, but
Then
like
not that.
people in this universe, people do it. People do it when they care about the outcome of something. So if nothing else, he will know that you care about this conversation.
Okay.
Assuming he
And then-
knows what
then-
guidance is.
then
I'm going to slowly follow Winton and hide, so that way he's gonna have this because I can I can be added. Wait, this can be added after seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome. So
Yes.
he could roll, and then I could cast
Yes.
Bardic Inspiration.
Don't forget that. You can wait to hold Bardic until after he rolls.
Okay.
Don't you cast it and then he can just use it whenever?
I'm casting guidance.
That is true. Yes, you can give it to
You
him.
can cast it. He
Oh,
just has it with in his
Fine,
pocket.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
waste it if you do
Yeah.
a good roll.
Just
so yeah, I'm
save
gonna
it
follow
before.
behind, and Winton's gonna go talk to Grimthorn, and I'm gonna be listening.
I'm casting
Yeah,
guidance on myself. Just
FYI, a house rule that I have, it's kind of the Baldur's Gate 3 rule, is you can cast Bardic on reaction. The rules is written in 5e is he can use Bardic you've given him on reaction. I just buffed that to where you can just cast it on reaction.
Okay.
It's really the same thing, whatever. So this is it. This is your last few minutes before things happen, unless you can like convince him to stop or whatever. So Grimthorn looks at you. And he's, I guess you just walk up. He walks up as he's talking to. He's like basically gesturing his troop. I guess I should mention he doesn't. He talks, but really most of what he's doing is controlling using this Black Jade. He doesn't really need to say much. Sable is standing next to him.
Jade Lord. I don't like you.
He just sort of slowly rolls his big shoulders and like a belabored shrug.
I have not made that a hidden thing. So, I'd like to come at this from a place of honesty. You killed me, and now the souls in my jade want to go to the Umbral corruption. I can't do that without a better Black Jade. Will you provide passage if we help you get rid of this abomination while not destroying the corpses?
Why don't you roll me persuasion?
Okay, with guidance.
Yes, you do.
Give me that Bardic, please.
Oh, okay. I cast Bardic Inspiration. Got
Yes.
a plus D6.
Do you say anything to him?
I was like, "You're doing great. You're doing really great, Winton. Perhaps next time don't open up with not liking him."
Yeah, he's giving you like more charismatic instructions. Like, hey, here's how you like talk to someone in a negotiation. Don't insult them.
Does a 14 work?
I will tell you what a 14 does.
Oh.
He hears your statement, and he smiles again. It's a slow, crawling smile. I will reward you based on what you earn. And that's it.
I want to glare at him.
He stares at you.
I so loathe your being.
He says, I don't care.
I turn and walk away.
And that is it.
As he comes back, I give him a fist bump.
Don't forget to take that short rest as a result of all this jazz. And as you watch, King Grimthorn looks to his troops, and he doesn't give a speech. You see, as he takes his scepter, stands before them, he beats his chest, his eyes flare, his Black Jade shines, and you hear all the zombies go in one unison, a rousing as though they're like hooting and hollering at some sort of general speech, even though he has said no words. And then he says to you, turning to you, let's begin. And you notice that from some of the still remaining rafters of this church that there are these creatures, these zombies, that then pour this bile, this sludge, into the center of the nave of this church, thoroughly covering these pews and books of pacifism and peace. And as they make the place reek of rot, all of you must instinctively leave, or you will suffer great penalty, which means that you have to move yourselves to the outsides of the church. I presume you do this.
Mm-hmm.
You
I don't wanna
can,
be in
unless
there.
you tell me otherwise, you're basically going to where his troops are going to line up and hide. And to give you a bit of a visual for some choices you might be able to make, this is your view of the outside of the church.
Okay.
For the audio viewer, you notice that there are some broken, dead trees that are nearby, a small bridge over a 6-inch creek, really nothing in this marshy land, stones that surround it, but mostly walls broken, leaning in, the tower on top on its side as the rubble is thrown about the ground. So, all of you move to the outskirts of this church.
So we're trying to get Corpseweaver to come in like this way?
Yes.
Okay. It's coming from over here?
Yes, that's correct.
I would like to be higher up if possible, like on the roof, able to shoot down onto it.
Yeah, I have to do this because this is a very improper building construction.
As she's climbing, can I cast Mending on where she's...
You don't have to roll.
Great.
Your friend has perfectly allowed you to get up to the right
Great.
perch. Almost the broken boards underneath you sort of
to
just...
do that, I have to
You have to
go.
touch
I'm
it,
going
right?
with her, so I'm with you now.
Great.
I think that because choices matter, and I like choices, this puts both of you in the church for longer after this has started. I think if you weren't being dumb, you would have just done this earlier. So we'll say, let's not even worry about that. And in fact, I'm going to skip that whole thing. But so you cast Mending on these steps and you get up to your perch.
Okay, great.
cool.
You are roughly 20 feet above the ground.
He's coming in here. Is that right?
That is
this
the plan.
Okay. Yeah, so I want to be
Nobody
like,
knows
here.
what
Just shows
happens.
up over here.
Okay. He just drops from the sky.
And then hiding, obviously.
So the players are putting their minis on the map for those listening at home. And as all of you move out of the church quickly... Oh, well, King Grimthorn's still out there.
Is he outside hiding?
Let's put
Where
him
was he?
right here.
Oh, my best bud.
Oh, good.
Actually, that's exactly where I want to be.
I'm in a place.
And
Wait,
it's time to set up some
Thunder
zombie
Wave
horns.
into the church.
Yeah! This is going to be
Yes.
lots of fun. I want
I have Thunder Wave,
these
which can push like 10
D6s.
feet.
I'm going to ask for some relative
Does it work on
positions.
any size
I
of
want
creature?
every single die set to 3 hit points.
Okay.
Cool. And I want
Yes.
4 over here.
Okay.
If he fails, like,
Got my 4.
con save.
I want 4 over
What was
here.
Constitution? He's like dead.
Yep.
Never mind. I want to be
Yep.
way over here.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be buds.
There's this last one.
Actually, I lied. I want 2 more per side, so do that twice more.
Oh, this
I
is
was trying
happening.
to
We're
take
setting
out the
up.
wall.
And then I
Oops,
want
I missed.
And then I want 6 of them placed dead center. This is the actual bait. And for fun,
How many hit points?
this
3?
one is Sam.
Where's Carter?
Oh.
And this
Oh, that
one,
makes me sad.
And this one is Carter.
There we go.
They are the meat. He doesn't consider them actually worthwhile for fighting, so he will use them as primary bait until the plan.
Okay,
They've
so
been
they're
promoted
up
to
front.
primary.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Now I want you to upgrade 4 of the units, 2 on the left and 2 on the right, to ogres. We'll give them 6 HP, but it's more than 6. It's representative of something else. Just more of a marker.
You said 2 on each side?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Unless anybody cares which 2.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, this is fine. These formations are generally good for me.
We're hiding, right?
Everyone should be hiding, including the zombies, including King Grimthorn. They roused us, and then as soon as they were getting in position, they were actually very quiet. Very
Do
appropriate.
we get advantage on stealth because of the bait and the smell and we're up in the...
Advantage on stealth. No, what's gonna happen is, if it comes down to it, I'll give him disadvantage on seeing you.
Okay, cool.
So, I only really care about stealth if you, and I'll roll here for the enemies for the zombies in a second, roll lower than a 10. Cool. Nobody? All good?
Oh my gosh, I succeeded!
Is a 4 lower than a 10?
A 4 is lower than a 10. All right, Tom, where you at?
3.
He's over here on the...
Tom is on the west flank. I will just roll for
The
some of
Loud
the,
Boys.
Yeah!
Some of
You
your.
failed too.
Yeah.
Oh no, double failure. Cool. I'm gonna roll for the zombies that are with you.
I have disadvantage
They
on
also
stealth.
failed.
I
I'm gonna
succeeded.
roll for the guys on the left.
I
All
might just
according to
push you
plan.
They also succeeded. So it's literally just divide the church in half. The ones in the middle are intentionally not stealthing. You are above and stealthing successfully. Exclusively everyone that is on this side of the church, you don't know this, right? You might perceive you're a little bit loud, but like you are at risk of being detected over the smell. But I'm gonna roll when we get there, so it's not guaranteed. As time ticks down, this bile is poured. You see one of these ogres, an ogre with a specific, unique ogre, which I suppose really should be marked for your fun. Let's put it over here. Produces one of these pustules of black magic and throws it. And effortlessly throws it 150 feet, all the way over there. And then another 100 feet. And breadcrumbs all the way. And every time one of these is thrown, it's only about this big, about 6 inches across, it produces an explosion, a burst of black liquid that showers out, let's say about 2 feet in diameter. But you could infer from the one being thrown close to you that they smell so bad. There's a bit of a blacky green smoke that emanates up from it. And as you all stand in position, ready for this ultimate ambush of the Corpseweaver Abomination, are there any last words?
Just a steadying breath.
The night grows still. You see as the souls in the sky could give you a 3-minute day.
I take
and
my
a 3-minute night.
take my camera orb,
Yes.
throw it in the air so it gets an aerial view of everything that we're about
Just
to
throws out the drone to get the most
Just-
epic
no,
action
like,
shots, baby.
like straight up, like
Like up here.
yeah, straight up, like up
Yeah, sure,
above,
yeah.
like hovering around the building.
Okay,
All
so
of you in position. And with that, the Corpseweaver's sounds begin to get closer. From a distance of half a mile down to 500 feet, and then 400 and 300. Suddenly, it comes in your direction. And that is where we're going to take a 10-minute break
It's good.
as our players get ready for a fight of flesh against flesh. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Alright.
Turns out
All right. right, we'll be back right at 6:10. Hello and welcome back. As we left off, this ogre mage threw these weird black pustules bombs off 150 feet and closer, making breadcrumbs, and we heard the movements of the thundering steps of this creature crawling up to face everyone else. And let's do a few things at once. So everyone can see the map on the board. You see that there are zombies on the left and in the middle, including Sam and Carter. And on the right, everyone on the side with Tom and Mordecai are doing a terrible job of stealthing, which we'll see if that ends up actually taking any impact. And as I get some music going, making sure that it's going through the right output, maybe?
Yeah, we got it.
Cypress, you should have purposely failed your stealth check.
Over here.
Great. You all see, coming from the other side, a horrific monstrosity. First, an image just to whet your appetite. Obviously, it is very hard to produce an image that appropriately represents what this creature looks like, but this can give you a bit of a taste.
Ooh.
A creature with, it's not that big, just so you know. A creature with flesh and mounds that drip off, body parts, arms and legs that are sewn together, that make up its larger appendages as it crawls along the ground. For a little bit of reference, we obviously had the incredibly talented Annie produce you this.
Whoa.
This is the Corpseweaver Abomination, which you're gonna put over there, right on the path. It's very dutifully.
right
Yeah.
down there.
No,
Mission
definitely on the
accomplished.
map. Cool. So for those viewing on YouTube, you will just have to imagine that it is at the side that is immediately facing the stony bridge, and as it approaches, you see stacked on the spiny carapace ridges of its bony skeletal structure. That is not its full size. That is roughly half of its size, because most of it, oopsie doopsie, that is thankfully not our recording setup. You'll see 24 zombies that are stacked along its spine in a huge, terrifying, stretching abomination of flesh and bone and suffering. And now that it's this close and you've been able to see it in the flesh, so to speak, you also notice that the individual creatures on this monstrosity are all moving. Gaping mouths, independently moving arms and legs, this all happening at once. It's pretty deafening how loud this creature is, and it doesn't help that its hundreds of legs, quotation marks, thunder across the ground as it moves with pretty quick speed. It is now approaching closer, and none of your plans involved ranged attacks, at least unless you choose to break rank. The plan is hide it into the church and then lay on the force. So it's going to take its turn and move closer. Is there anything that any of you would like to do?
I'm gonna knock it over.
You take one hand, Cypress just one hand pushes it over, and then it falls on the ground.
Force of will.
That's gonna happen a lot, so I'll need your help with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? You've prepared aid. You've got the armor buff. You've got.
Yeah, can I cast Blade Ward on myself?
Yes, you do. You cast Blade Ward on yourself.
This
Your
thing is not-
family heirloom, I think.
Yeah, it's the pendant that I wear.
Yeah.
This thing is not just attracted to like the bile or the smell, right? There is like a sound element to this.
Can you be more specific what you're asking?
Like if I were to illusionary put like a large sound coming from inside the church, would it be more like approached to like, would it be more inclined to go inside and go check it out?
Since you don't have enough time to really ask anyone, it's roughly 20 seconds until it gets to you. You'll just have to decide if you're willing to do that and find out.
Well, we're trying to get in there anyway. I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah.
Better a louder sound than that. Yeah.
You can
no.
hear some of the zombies in the center of the church kind of mucking about anyway.
Yeah.
There's an ambient noise to them because they're not trying to
Okay, then let's really make sure. I'm going to centralize it. So I'm going to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
And it's going to be not a large sound crash. It's like, I think I can make... It says anything from like a lion's roar, beating of drums, so I can do plural.
Yeah.
I want to do a large, like a loud choral, like hymn or humming, like noise.
It's like people in church singing?
Yes.
Jeez. So you throw this voice over there. What does it sound like?
Gentlemen, if you would, and in Ayla, if you do know, if you would please help me in doing the Halo 3 title menu.
We'll stop there. And then this voice echoes
Copyright.
hauntingly from the church, and except for Tom, none of you knew this was gonna happen. This is very sort of in the moment.
Divine intervention.
How do all of you respond to this?
Quietly, no one say anything.
Yeah.
I'm looking around for the voices of this
Like
pacifistic
looking
church.
into the church. Yeah.
I look at the zombies. I think the zombies are the ones who are singing.
You look down, and they're going.
How does Grimthorn react?
Sure. He is pretty tactically smart, and I think his immediate posture denotes to you. You're on his side, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of watching him. His immediate posture denotes. Okay, this is still along with the plan. This is clearly meant to drive this creature into the center of the church. So let's move on. The creature crawls up. Let's go ahead and take it a third of the way across the map.
So like right here.
Yes, please. And is wading through this creek. It gets to the next of the little pustules and sniffs it. By sniffing, I mean it takes the pseudopod, is the word I was thinking of earlier, as it is draped along the ground, and then it quickly assesses stronger smell that direction. And it moves even closer, taking one more leg of the journey. And with that, everyone braces for combat. It is time for all of you to roll for initiative.
Of course.
Got a 10.
Of course I use it now.
For anyone that is higher than a 20, please raise your hand. Okay, Cypress.
I had a nat 20.
Nice.
Wow.
All right.
Of course I use it
Between
now.
15 and 20.
I have 15.
15 for Ari. Between 10 and 15.
Oh,
Yeah.
10 and 15?
Yeah,
I was
okay.
10.
10, great. Then with less than 10.
I got a 7.
7.
I got a 6.
6.
Yeah.
All right, our order is now set. Let's get this battle underway with the first of your necrotic beasts. It lumbers forward, and let's find out what it is going to do. Oopsie. As it heaves itself forward, you hear a gurgling, disgusting sound. And then it wrenches its huge maw backwards and ejects from its huge gut a black and green bile that shoots into a mist. And a cloud of powerful, noxious fumes begins to descend on most of the battlefield. First, let's set the stage. Yep, that's gonna be everyone. Not even close. It's definitely everyone. We're just going to say it's in this relative. Actually, I need help. Go ahead and put yourselves on top of it. Great.
What is roughly scale? Are each of these cubes 5 feet?
Each of the squares on the map are.
Okay.
Your character is 5 feet.
It's the only one that
Cool.
escapes.
Okay, sure.
I know that the map is perfectly the scale.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Is it in
Range
range attacks now? I assume it will be when it's in the church.
It is now. It is
Okay.
now for sure.
Perfect.
So, as this mist comes over all of you, you all begin to retch with this stench. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, cool.
Not 20.
Nice.
What? Dirty 20. Why do I have a +3 to Constitution?
19.
I'll take it.
Interesting.
6. I'm poisoned again. I bet.
I need everyone who passed. Well, let's start with the big numbers, baby. I need everyone who failed, which is Winton and I need to roll for Sable
And Grimthorn?
and Sable and Mordecai to take 3d6 poison damage.
Is Grimthorn, does he
Can you
react
use
at
that
all?
D4?
Grimthorn stands there and breathes.
Oh
it
yeah,
in
I'm gonna
the
use a
side.
D4 on this.
3d6?
That's right. And you're rolling your own.
Oh no! Why would you do this?
Thankfully, you never roll high, right, Winton?
Are you kidding? I've been doing pretty good. Oh my gosh.
12.
12 poison damage to Winton.
I'm gonna use my
Hey,
D4.
12. What'd you guess? 12. Cool.
Can I use my D4 to subtract that?
You can, yeah,
Same.
from this armor.
Yes.
Yeah, since I didn't say what the armor could be applied to, I'll say it can apply to.
Okay, so 8 damage.
Maybe it like covers your face and you don't
9.
breathe in as much.
And you still get one
It
more.
just smells really nice and it
By the way,
offsets it a little.
everyone
D4 roll.
everyone else takes half of that damage. So you're going to take
Oh, so
3d6
still
and then
roll,
cut it in half,
yeah.
which
Okay.
always rounds down. In D&D, you always round down.
Okay,
so
so-
3d6, cut it in half. Sable's going to do that. Oh no, Sable took the full 3d6.
And you
Ooh!
had the 10 hit
That was
points.
11 damage
Huh?
You had the
to
temporary
Sable.
hit points.
Yeah, so now I'm down to 19.
2,
11.
so that's 3
I need to mark
damage.
Sable.
Is
Sable is over here chilling with y'all. That's Sable. Cool.
I still have one more reduced damage.
Okay.
I haven't even broken my shields.
Are we poisoned?
Reduce it
You are
by
not
yourself.
poisoned.
Wow.
You just took a bunch of poison damage. There's a difference.
Oh, we're not poisoned.
You're not poisoned.
Okay.
I think that is cruel. I'm not going to immediately poison you at the start of a fight. But this was you notice that you two. Sorry, what did you two roll? This matters. 10.
For what?
The
For
poison.
the,
Oh.
for the context.
6.
The stench is now in the air. All of you smell it, and all of you took damage from it. It is overwhelming to you. You take all of this damage and sort of bring yourself back up into the fight. Mordecai, you are suffering what's called retching, which means you will have disadvantage on all attacks when facing the creature until you pass on this con save at the start of your turn. So you get a chance every single turn to pass it. Otherwise, disadvantage if you're facing the creature. This is a condition called retching, which, by the way, is in the cone root, but it is suitable for this fight. So as you are suffering this, I didn't even roll Sable for that same thing. I think he's also suffering that because he rolled a 7. So Sable is also retching. He hasn't talked much to y'all, but he stands there with his rapier ready, but he's sheathed it in favor of a battle hammer, like a war hammer that he's got. And you see him. This is next to you two, Tom and Mordecai. Sable and Mordecai stand next to it. They're just like, this guy stinks. And of course, the three of you are all making the most amount of noise.
I'm handling this a little bit better because I was in the catacombs and that was just... I don't know what's worse, actually, but I think I'm handling this more better like a champ than I am. than I think I should be right now.
The final detail is that this blacky green mist produces an obscuring dark vision, or obscuring darkening effect. So from where you are, you cannot see unless you have dark vision any further than 30 feet. So that is for you to determine, decide, whatever. It covers that aspect of the battlefield, and in fact,
Any elves will have dark vision.
Half elves have dark vision. Cool.
I have no idea.
I need to. It came from its paw, so it's really more like this. And you don't know how long it'll last, but it is now in the air, in your nose.
So are we understanding that these zombies are out of it, or are they in it as well?
They are out of it currently.
Okay.
Yeah, their positioning puts them out of it. And that will officially start the fight as this thing comes closer, and I'm going to prepare notes for where Grimthorn and Sable come to the initiative. Cypress, nat 20, baby. You are first up. It is roughly 120 feet away from you. And just from all of you, for the sake of planning purposes.
So, I'm gonna say I was convinced to not...
Get us all killed immediately.
I'm convinced to try to stick to the plan, at least for now. So Can I move but hold my action?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to tell me what you are holding it for. and then you would use your reaction to perform that action before the start of your next turn.
So I want to move out of this cloud. So I guess it's back here.
Yeah.
And then I guess I will just hold like a ranged attack until the monster moves closer.
What's the ranged attack? Because you have to declare that now.
Short bow.
Cool. You do that. He is in range to be hit. Are
Yeah,
you
but
trying to,
I want to let him get closer
Got it.
before
Yeah.
I start hitting.
Yeah, he does this even just on approach. Oh, I didn't roll for him. You ready that action? Okay, cool. I'll just tell you.
Great.
All right. That
We
takes
can
us.
kill him before he takes a turn.
Cypress, you've taken your turn. At initiative, so this is 20. You were higher than 20. Aries 17, I think. I think it was 17.
15?
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Sable will go near you. All that matters. At initiative 20, this creature then begins to sniff the air. You see as these pseudopods, and then you see as black and red veiny tendrils shoot out from the sides of this creature, and it does the thing you do if you like drop your glasses and you're looking for them on the ground. It pats around in a circumference reaching about 10 feet around it as it slaps the ground over and over again in a rhythm. Now, it's worth mentioning that these tendrils are not like tentacles. They are like human legs with this sharp black tether that literally sews them together. As it slaps these humanoid parts on the ground, and then it contracts them all into their body, and it prepares to move forward, but does not yet. Ari, you're next.
I'm also holding my action until he comes closer into the church.
Amen.
Short bow.
Sable also holds his action. Mordecai.
I want to get out of that fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're doing.
I'm moving farther behind here through the church.
Worth mentioning, go ahead and give me that con save at the start of your turn.
Oh, okay.
5. On a 5, you still fail, but you can leave this one.
Yes, let's leave, please.
so-
Cool. Unfortunately, you are still retching.
Well, I don't plan to attack right
But
now.
you don't have like obscure vision or anything like that.
Yeah.
You simply are there.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Winton, on initiative 10, as a legendary action, it is going to move. So, it is right underneath the entrance to the nave, the entrance to this thing. What's that black die?
That's the camera.
I don't think we need the camera.
Okay.
You tell me if you're going to do something with it, but it's here. It's over there.
Yeah, just put it over. It's aerial view.
It's aerial view, exactly. It is
Justin, your
now
new job is hold that right
immediately
here.
underneath the chapel. Worth mentioning, now under obscured vision. It is in. It's as though it were in a thick fog.
But dark vision ignores that.
Dark vision ignores that. Yes. Cool. So that means that Winton, you're next.
Wait, so
Okay.
is it in the church?
Yes.
Or, so
Okay.
can we do our action?
You can, yeah. If
Yeah.
you ready your action, you will use your reaction in order to perform it. So in order, Cypress will go first.
All right, so that's
And Ari, you can re-roll yours. Why not?
21.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, yes, yeah, and then
Yeah, it doesn't have armor. It has a mostly skeletal structure,
11.
but 11 will not hit.
5.
Okay, so you see as, and let's roll for Sable. Cool. So you see as it enters the church, Cypress, Airy, and Sable all prepare their ranged weapons, and Sable and Airy miss. It clanks off the creature or hits a structure in the foggy mist as it enters the church. And Cypress's shot rings true, striking deep into one of the fleshy sort of multiple rib cages for 5 points of damage.
Am I able to re-hide as a bonus action?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Great.
Yeah, why not? You can use your bonus action on your held action turn. Okay. Mordecai was leaving, but didn't take an action. Just letting, Winton, you're next.
Okay. So I can see it even because it's within 30 feet of me.
If it is within 30 feet of you, you can. Otherwise, you have to have dark vision.
Okay, I'm standing like on the rafters
Then
in
yes,
the church.
yeah, because I said you were 20 feet up, so you can definitely see it.
Okay.
It is now underneath you. You can smell it as it approaches.
I'm going to go ahead and I'll cast Ray of Enfeeblement on the monster.
Okay.
Okay, I have to make a attack roll.
Let's go.
Does a 22 hit?
A 22 definitely hits.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Black Beam of enervating energy springs from your fingers towards the target creature. On a hit, the target only deals half damage with weapon attacks that use strength until the spell ends.
Fascinating. Awesome. Okay, so you see, as Winton casts the spell forth, you notice that its lumbering limbs, all hundreds of them, they begin to lax as it is now moving in a more sort of laborious way, shuffling around the ground. You can immediately tell, Winton, this thing is going to be a little weaker in all of its physical attacks. Very good. Awesome. That takes us to Tom. You're next.
So if I were to cast Dust Devil, would that suck up the stink? Do you think?
I'm not even familiar with the language of Dust Devil. Read it to me.
So Dust Devil. Choose an unoccupied 5-foot cube of air that you can see within range. An elemental force that resembles a dust devil appears in a cube, lasts for the spell's duration. Any creature that ends its turn, that's damage. We can talk about that later. I guess the relevant language would be if the dust devil moves over sand, dust, loose dirt, small gravel, it sucks up the material, forms a 10-foot radius cloud of debris around itself that lasts until the... Okay.
Yeah, my ruling, yes. Because it sucks up debris and rubble, it's going to suck up the gas and then take it with it because it looks like it's a conjuration that can move.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you tell me what you do here.
Yeah, so my plan would be cast Dust Devil kind of over here to suck up the stink.
Yeah.
And then kind of push...
There's your Dust Devil.
Perfect. Kind of push the... run it back behind, kind of push the Corpseweaver into the church some.
Okay.
As my bonus action.
How far can it move on your turn?
30 feet? So, 30 feet, and I can cast it anywhere within 60 feet of me. If we're saying that the suck up aura is 10 feet, then I would cast it 10 feet away from myself and then move it the remaining 30
It looks
feet.
like the radius of the sucking is 5 feet.
The damage is 5 feet. The sucking is 10 feet.
Oh, you're right.
'Cause-
There you go. Okay, cool. That's going to be really big. I guess I was going to give you like a thing you could mark on the map. This
Bigger
is
die.
roughly...
Bigger die.
This is roughly a 10 by 10. So if you paint a trajectory with that, then you can tell me all of the gas that it removes, basically.
This is 10 feet by 10 feet?
Sure.
Oh, I see. So I would cast it on top of my... Or not on top of myself, but close enough. Go here, and then... I mean, really what I care about is me, because Mordecai's already out of the way. So, like, here, and then around to here.
Okay.
So is the... Am I going like this to try to measure out, or...
I'm just saying,
that's...
wherever it goes, you've removed the gas, so you can mark
Okay.
it with maybe a pencil, or if you want to use
That
more
far.
sticky notes, I can give you that. Like, you can use this if this is helpful to you.
Sure. So then the region that I would care about would be here, and then there.
Okay.
And then we said we have enough range to get the Dust Devil to here, so that it's dealing damage. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So what's the damage?
The damage is a creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the Dust Devil, makes a strength saving throw. On a fail, it takes bludgeoning damage and is pushed 10 feet away.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I did not read the distance it can move. You summon it on you, and if you move it 30 feet from you, it's going to make it like halfway there.
That's fine.
So you'll be halfway there. Next turn, you can command it and get it in position.
That's okay.
Cool.
Then, if I were doing it that way, then I would rather it be... I guess there's a church
Get
wall
the
here, so I
damage off.
can't stick it in the middle. So it'd be, over here. Okay.
Roll luck. So you need line of sight. The church is
Do I?
broken. Yeah, it just
Okay,
says
I see.
a cube of air you can see within range.
I see, yeah.
So church is pretty broken. You can just point inside the church and put it there if you want.
Okay, then yeah, I would rather...
But it
I would
won't
rather
remove the gas
have...
around you.
What do you mean? Oh, you're saying starting
Because
in
you're
the
not
church.
summoning it on top of you.
I see. Oh, yeah,
Same time board.
my main goal is to move the gas, so then I'll leave it here.
Great. Cool. Awesome. With that, your turn's over. Corpseweaver does nothing. That takes us to Grimthorn. At this point, you hear the mass of zombies on the inside, Sam and Carter included, begin to make a thronging sort of movement around and towards the Corpseweaver as they're yelling to themselves. But then they start moving to the back of the church, just kiting the enemy to come deeper on a reaction, this creature is going to do that same maneuver before, slap around with its 10-foot tendrils, and then one of them, well actually, let's roll an attack. Do it. Oh no. Well, it crit. So the way I'm ruling that is one of its tendrils makes contact. It grabs specifically Sam. And another one reaches out on reaction and grabs Carter. And then you watch, possibly horrified, depending on how good your vision is in this cloud, as the tendrils tear through their bodies and continue on to grab two additional zombies. And now it's created a kebab of these creatures. And it immediately, on its legendary action here, pulls them 10 feet closer to themselves. So now, two zombies in the back, and these guys return exactly where they were. Badly damaged as they are skewered and on this black tendril that is held by the Corpseweaver. That takes us to Grimthorn. As he sees this all happen, he goes, attack! Commanding with his Black Jade, and the zombies all immediately begin to mobilize. You see as they begin to move closer to the outskirts of the church and begin immediately pulling on the structure on the inside. You see that soon it might buckle and break.
The church itself.
Yeah,
Okay.
the actual pillars that were prepared. And because of Tom's work on the dirt, mechanically speaking, this was going to be 3 rounds of them pulling hard and kiting. Tom's help, in addition to Mordecai's helping point out specific points of weakness, is going to reduce that entire round count by 1. So in just 2 rounds, so to be clear, at the end of 2 rounds from now, the church is going to collapse with whatever is inside of it. Make sense?
We got 2 rounds to push him in.
That is the end of round 1. We reach the top of round 2. Cypress, you are first, and Ares on deck.
Pick him up and throw him through a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sable too. No, he's with us.
Should we create the language at the very bottom?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I guess.
Oh, I need to note that he did half damage. It's not disadvantage on attacks, it's half
So are we
damage.
supposed to take damage on the zombies? Is that why they're 3?
Oh yeah, deals only half damage.
Okay, hold on. And then I need to make that con save. What's your... It failed. Actually, wait. What's your spell save?
15.
It almost passed. Okay, cool. What's that?
Are the zombies 3 because they have 3 hit points, or is that just to differentiate them from the ogres?
They have 3 hit points using an internal system that I'm tracking myself.
Okay, so we
Just
don't
making
need to
more
mess with the dice. Okay.
I guess I'll cast Fairy Fire, which is a 20-foot cube, to hit it and Grimthorn.
Okay. As you do that, go ahead and roll your attack.
It's a 20-foot cube,
Yeah.
so you're also hitting.
It's me.
Well, so you're
Winton
20
and
foot
Airy.
up, so you're like standing on top of the cube. You're not
Very
in the
far
cube.
down.
So you
Actually,
I'm gonna say you have dark vision, right? Or you
Yes,
can see
I have dark vision.
You can easily pick a spot that doesn't happen to hit that far up. You just choose lower down.
Yeah, I'll aim into the dirt. Yeah. So the ground is glowing.
We'll make it work.
But
so
so
go
they-
ahead and roll your attack.
It's not attack. It's they are now like outlined in light.
Oh, you're right.
If they fail a dex save, and if any attack against them has advantage.
What's your spell save?
14.
It does pass.
Which one? So I hit Grimthorn and it.
Dex save. Oh, you hit Grimthorn.
Yes. Oops, sorry.
I need to make
Calm
a
down,
note.
it was a misinput.
Make a note of that.
Are they within 20 feet?
No.
Of each other?
No.
They're not.
Yeah, they're just not.
Oh,
Oh.
So you have to choose.
Oh, then the monster.
Okay, cool. Monster passes. Then, not Tom, but probably
But
Tom.
also the zombies are probably now also glowing, and everything within 20 feet in that cube is glowing.
Yeah, cool. So we have thick smoke, noxious gas.
It casts dim light, so that helps like
Big one.
disperse the fog.
I'll say it does. Yeah, for the sake of people who are targeting it. Cool. 20-foot cube. Fairy fire. It passes though, so it
It is not glowing.
It is not. Yeah, exactly. It is not. You do not have advantage when attacking it. Let's take ourselves to at initiative 20. We see as this creature, the Corpseweaver Abomination, does 2 things at once. The first thing is that it will. What's the exact name of this? Oh, ingest.
Oh.
You see as the tendrils and it shoves these 4 creatures, the Salmon Carter zombies included, into its body. And I only rolled it on a crit that would even be able to take 4 at a time, so I'm going to say just as a house rule, or like as my ruling for that, it only ingests 2 instantly.
And you notice that these 2 get sucked into its body and join the forces that are now along its back.
Should we flip that cup?
The other 2... Sure. Yeah, if you could do that for me, please.
Yeah, whatever.
Actually, you know what? I'll take it anyways, because I'm about to use those,
Oh, perfect.
if I may.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. The DM say, I want to use those 20d6s.
So, at this point, you see as the creature, the fleshy monstrosities inside of its body, begin crawling up along itself. It's like when you say your skin crawls, this time, literally, as these creatures crawl up and build these towers. Think World War Z, as the zombies build their own towers.
Exactly what I was thinking.
That stack up 4 tall.
On either side, I'm gonna have my... actually, let's do 5 tall. On either side.
Is this Deer in the Headlights, or is it a different game where you roll and then you stack the
So,
5 tall.
5 tall?
And the remainder...
That explains the extra 2.
the remainder of these stand on its back, just for reference. But you see these 2 towers
build, and you infer... Actually, you'll...
Got it.
Do your best, but don't worry too much about it. Immediately, all of you infer that these zombies are about to be commissioned. They are controlled by this creature and are going to be flung into combat against all of you. And then, as soon as that happens, you see... Oh, I'm sorry. For King Grimthorn, I did not... Oh, yeah, no, I did that right. Yeah, they just moved into position.
You see the tower fall as all of these zombies scatter outwards and immediately begin to take action. 1, 2, 3. That's not good for that guy.
You said the Dust Devil was inside, right?
No, it's outside.
Is that
Didn't make
Sable?
it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure. Cool, Sable falls.
So these zombies have now been... They fall in 2 sort of parallelogram lines that go outward in a V shape, meaning that they are now cutting off certain units as they try to immediately go out and surround you. That's going to be the end of its round at Initiative 20. Ari, you're next.
Is that the end of the zombies' turn too?
Yes, the zombies act on Grimthorn's.
Wait, I'm
Okay. On
No, I went.
You win.
this zombie. So not the
Bad zombies.
No,
bad
wait,
zombie.
he goes again.
Bad zombies
I go again.
act
No.
when the Corpseweaver want them to.
Okay, so its turn hasn't ended yet, so it doesn't roll the Dust Devil save. Okay.
Oh, I see. No, it is for the wording of your spell. It is the end of that
Its turn,
creature's turn,
yeah.
and the zombies are considered part of it as they are assimilated. So let's roll that damage.
Sure. It's a DC 15 strength save.
Cool. I'll say 2 of them are suffering it. So let's roll them both together. They horribly failed, and the Dust Devil go ahead and take them off the board. It immediately shreds them into smithereens.
Good stuff.
Is that the end of the Corpseweaver's turn?
Yes.
They make
What's
a
that
con
like
save
type
for
dice?
raising people.
D6.
Oh, you want this one?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Get him a
Yes.
set.
Yeah.
Cool. That takes us to Ari. You're next.
Okay.
I'm gonna cool things down in here.
I have.
So this means the fact that there's these dice while he's doing that means that we get to count how many kills each of us get. And so this is now officially a competition. And I'm winning.
That still only counts as 1.
So
Does
I
Grimthorn
have
count as
2
one or
turns
multiple?
Before this
One.
bonus collects.
I
2 of
mostly
my
have healing
Yes.
spells
Okay,
and
great.
debuffs. How can I
Um,
participate in this competition?
Hit him with a stick.
Poor
You gotta make
Grimthorn's
some
one
I think
death.
I'm just gonna
Grimthorn.
take a shot at one of the at the Corpseweaver, I
Yeah.
guess.
It is now. There's like a very fire-like light around it, but it does not itself glow.
Right.
She has dark vision anyway.
That doesn't count. It threw.
Can I hit that?
Yeah. She wanted to count.
No, reroll.
Yeah, it's fine.
Doesn't matter. Definitely it's 20 something. It hits.
Okay.
Great. And I was hiding, so that's
Sneak attack!
Sneak attack!
another d6 plus 5.
Nah.
16.
16 points of damage. All right, that's really good. As Ares' arrow.
And then I'm hiding.
Yep.
Yep.
Straight into this creature, terrifying. And
17 on the hide.
yes. Okay, got you on the hide. I will actually have it look for you next time. Cool.
Are you gonna stay on the roof?
This turn.
All right, that takes us to Sable. You're next. I am Sable.
I'm gonna go
Sable.
and stab it with my saber.
Sable rolls his con save at the beginning of his turn because he's still retching, and he passes. You see him As he rights himself, he fixes his cap, his very illustrious cap, and he is going to charge in the battle. Go ahead and take that blue die right there, and he's going to dash directly through. I don't know if the Dust Devil is definitely going to hurt him. We'll just say that he can find a way around it.
It doesn't matter if you pass through it. It's just if you end your turn.
Got it. So he's going to go. Oh, you know what? What am I saying? There's zombies right around him. He's absolutely going to kill those guys. So he's going to. He takes his hammer out and he twirls it in one hand, trying to find the right angle to basically hit just the head. You two observe as you're over there next to him of one of these zombies, and he comes at an interesting angle, which seeks to come underneath the jaw and upwards. And with this kind of a sideways uppercut, he misses on one of these guys, and then he takes a what's this called, a pit and grip, and then he strikes it across the out, and he crits. So he just absolutely obliterates this guy, and I guess I was hoping one of you as players would be the first person to discover this, but these minions you see as these zombies have been thrown off of its skeletal structure are so bare bones. They are so thin and the flesh is decayed off of them so much they look fragile. His attack cleaves through one of them and directly into the other one adjacent to him. Sable takes out both of the zombies that are next to you. And then he swings it back and he holds it in place and he's going to dash forward.
Yeah, two for you, Sable.
He's going to go outside of the church and threaten the final zombie that's there that's just kind of dropped into combat.
Okay.
Okay, and that takes us to Mordecai. You're up.
All right. Well, let's do this Constitution save first. 8.
8 is not good.
Okay.
Mordecai is
Can I
disgusted. Now remember, all retching means is disadvantage on attacks when you're facing the Corpseweaver. It's like
60 no scope.
Breathing in his fumes by facing him is what is really hurting you here.
So could he like
back throw him backwards? Yes, but he's blind, so he gets advantage.
Like I am in front of it, or facing like I can peek through a window and like see it. Like does that still?
If your body is facing in this direction.
My body.
Yeah, if you are.
If I turn around like this and I'm doing that, like does that count?
I will call it as blind unless you have experience practicing, over the shoulder layouts.
Don't you know it was canonical that would like play darts in bars and
Yeah,
blindfolded for tricks?
Roll crazy high luck. Maybe you did.
Okay.
Well, let's see.
17.
It's not high enough.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, you like doing little like sleight of hand, little tricks, but you didn't happen to master the behind the back, over the shoulder, no look shot.
Well, who's going next?
So sometimes it might just be that you cast a spell or you take your shot with disadvantage. It's okay.
Well, the one shot I want to do is the big one that I can only do per one.
Winton will be on deck.
Okay, Winton will be on deck. Okay. Well, I was kind of banking on that Constitution save. I shouldn't have.
What is your next plan of attack? Or what is your next move?
I'm jumping on it.
And doing anything else with that? Are you doing anything else with that?
I'm going to be casting Gentle Repose.
What is that?
It prevents it from hopefully doing exactly what it did and sucking up these things and putting it into its little thing. And then, because I can, as a bonus action, I'm going to use Misty Step to get away.
Okay, we have a plan here.
So if I gave you Bardic Inspiration, would that help?
Mordecai is not talking to Winton right now. Mordecai is on the other side, heaving.
I honestly have no idea.
And he has no idea that Winton's about to do this.
Guys, I have no plan of attack
You
right
hear Mordecai
now. I
retching
am
and
losing
yelling.
my food from last hour ago. Can anyone give me any advice right now?
Hit it till it dies!
Winton, if you were not already dead, I would find a way to do it again.
Sable having just immediately like knocked a guy out with a crit. I did this in Operation Bloodstone. I'm gonna do it for you. You see him and he's like, "Hey, let's go!" And he's going to give you Bardic Inspiration. So he's not canonically he's not a bard, but he has inspired you. So you can add a d6 to your next roll.
I'll do. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, and Sable's my favorite bard. He knows how to save con.
How many hit points does Sable have?
This is where Mordecai just turns evil outright. Well, he failed his con save, so he took 11 points of poison damage.
Me?
No, him.
Sable did.
Oh.
And also you, but you took one more.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
So he's better than you.
yeah, by metrics
But then
alone,
you
he's slightly better than
But then you subtracted the
Oh,
D4.
okay. I thought I was still taking poison damage. I was like, wait a minute, or like retching damage. Like, no. Hold on.
You got to make your choice. What are you gonna do with Sable having just inspired you? Do you want to go and attack that zombie that's next to the desk
You know
level? Or
what?
do you want to go after the?
I have piercing daggers. I'm gonna blindly throw a dagger at the.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
do it.
Do you want disadvantage because you're facing it and retching, or disadvantage because you're going to no look throw it over your shoulder?
Second one's way cooler.
That one's way cooler.
There's only one correct answer.
I'm gonna disadvantage because I'm throwing it over my shoulder.
Great. So Mordecai turns around to avoid the smell, heaves this dagger. Why don't you roll that attack roll twice,
Okay.
disadvantage, and then add a d6 on top of it.
Okay. Wait.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So a D4 plus 3. All right. D4. 1.
Well, you have to roll to hit
Oh,
first.
sorry.
Might miss.
C20.
I jumped ahead. There's a 3. There's a nat 20.
That is a bad time to roll with 20.
Oh.
You can roll with d6 anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna matter.
Okay. Yeah.
So you hear, after he's been shouting, I don't know what to do, I've lost my food, you just hear him go, yay, and throw a dagger, and it just clings into the outside of the church. You know they say you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? You couldn't even hit the inside of a church.
Okay, I'm not sure I hit it, but if I didn't, there is a dagger on the floor somewhere, so use that to your advantage.
You hear the Corpseweaver like scream. It goes,
I think you hit it.
Awesome!
which is funny because at initiative 10, it is going to act. The Corpseweaver, as its legendary action, it of course, and very satisfying, clink clink, as these souls get sucked in, and it is going to pounds the ground around it looking for another kill. And when it doesn't find any, it smells and immediately begins to move in the direction of the final two zombies at the back of the church. It is now right at the altar. It is at the very center, very middle of the church. Please help. Help me. Okay, there you go. With the two final zombies, they are kind of mulling about waiting for their demise. But the plan is working, technically. The bile smell still reeking upwards. Winton, you're next.
I said what I was gonna do. I take a running jump onto its back.
Give me an acrobatics check.
How big is it?
Yes.
Very.
So, very. I know that that's not necessarily to scale. We're gonna say roughly
Church-sized.
60 feet long and 30 feet wide.
How tall?
I'm
I'm 20
I said
feet up.
it's pretty flat. I'll just say it's 10 feet tall.
10 feet tall. Okay, so I
10
make a
foot jump.
10-foot jump. Or
Yeah.
10-foot fall, really.
Onto an uneven surface that is moving.
Well, I really just want to fall, like, jump onto it and, like,
That's true. You just need to touch it and then get away. Right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
exactly what
You're
I
right. This will be pretty easy then.
okay.
So don't screw up.
Yeah, don't roll a 1. Skills.
Being said moments before disaster.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about to roll a 1 because
Athletics, you said?
I rolled a 1. I
or
rolled a 1.
yeah.
A nat 20.
Whoa! Hey!
You sure you don't want to stay on it? And
So you Winton dashes. Tell me what you do. You tell me.
Okay, so I'm right here. Like, we see the big lumpy thing that it's absorbing everything into. I take a step away from Aerie, and everyone. I just yelled at Mordecai. I think you hit it. And I just jump onto the spines of its back, just like fall down, shield first, so that I land.
Ooh.
With it.
Yeah, I like that. So, you know what? Because why not? It's fun. Give me just an unarmed strike attack. That is the result of you jumping on it with your shield. We'll do some extra damage as a result of this.
Okay.
And then you can do your
A
shenanigans.
nat 20.
So that's 2d4 plus your strength mod. I guess that's congrats.
Congrats.
Why am I getting nat 20s?
Yeah,
on
you're
this?
using up all your nat 20s. You do not want to be doing that.
Why am I using them now? That's a 4 damage plus what?
Your strength mod.
I don't have strength.
It's 4 damage, baby.
So I just land on its spines and
You
break.
hear the crunching noise of
And it
bone
flips
underneath
over.
you.
human
And
bone.
As you do that, Winton, I need you to make a con save.
Can I? As I do that,
Yeah.
I want to, and I fall. I essentially want to yell out, "Grimthorn, I get first blood," and then I land on it.
Awesome. That's so tight. All right, cool. You roll your con save first, and we'll do your.
A nat 1.
We talked about this. You remember what you used your 20 on a punch attack. So you
nice
told me
knowing
you were
Winton.
using your shield.
Yes.
You didn't have to do that. You could have just kicked it. This is going to work out in your favor. When you get closer, something really scary happens that none of you would have even noticed until at this very moment. So you saw as the skin crawled and these creatures moved up its back and then into the towers that were used to topple out. The closer you get to it, you see as the side of its back, the flesh parts, and there's an opening that is produced as these creatures independently widen themselves as their arms reach up to grab you, to bring you into their
They're gonna
hold.
gloop him.
And when you get touched by one of them, thankfully your shield is in the way, so this isn't going to be as bad for you. But you see a little burst of black necrotic energy explode, and it doesn't look that dissimilar to the necrotic energy coming from your necklace with these black veins. It will, you know what? Because of that shield, why don't you roll luck? We'll see kind of how this little burst of necrotic poison lands.
Please.
Because it's not an attack roll. This is kind of just a
Two
it's a
20s
stat.
and 2 1s.
A 2.
It unfortunately
The dice give it.
you. I'm sorry. This is the theme of this particular segment.
Before we go this,
Yeah.
because I technically haven't done my action yet.
Yep.
As it's opening and bringing me in, I'm going to channel my divinity to turn undead.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. We'll save that for a moment. You had a plan. You were carrying out that plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a half second of reaction time to change your plan from casting a spell and Misty stepping away to I'm just going to use my turn undead. So roll me initiative. Roll me an initiative check with disadvantage.
No. Okay. That's a 5.
You do not have the reaction time to respond to this horrifying revelation, and unfortunately, so I guess save that channel divinity.
Okay, yeah.
But unfortunately, as your shield hits it, and I'm apologizing to the viewers, the theme of this particular arc with Grimthorn and the zombies is flesh and rot, decay, and disgusting grossness. Like a black head or a pimple, you see as you make contact, and just the angle of your shield, the way you happen to be leaning, the way that these creatures are moving, you hear a poof as this bursting black liquid covers the side of your body, and you immediately begin to seize. Necrotic damage shoots through your body, which I'm going to roll for you.
Okay.
That is
You can use the D4.
11 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
You have a D4 to use.
Oh yeah, I'll use that now.
Cool. I'll let you do
You
that
have
math.
2
on your own.
D4s, right?
I used one already. Okay, 11. That drops to 9.
Okay, now do your shenanigans.
Okay, so it just landed.
Oh no,
I'm
our
assuming-
healer got eaten.
So it
He ran straight
So
at the
essentially,
boss.
it opened up, and now I'm kind of in a cavity.
No. It was reaching for you, so it's gonna try to grab at you. I
Talk
said
about
because of
that
your
later.
shield, you're kind of like bouncing off of it and popping a pimple of sorts.
Okay.
So you can still do your thing.
Which one do I want to do?
I think whatever you planned on doing, you have to do.
Okay.
Because you
gentle
failed your,
gentle repose.
Okay.
On the creature.
So now tell me what this is, because I don't think the viewers know exactly what general repose is.
Okay.
And coming up will be Tom.
Gentle repose. I touch a corpse or other remains, which this I think counts as other remains.
It has remains on it. Tell me what you're thinking about doing.
For the duration, the target is protected from decay and cannot become undead.
Okay.
It also effectively extends the time limit on raising the target from the dead, since days spent under the influence of this spell don't count against the time limit of spells such as raise dead.
Okay, I like this. Here's how I'm going to rule this. So it has all of these bodies that it's kind of piled up onto its back and is preparing to do what it just did earlier and launch them into combat. I want you to roll me a freaking D8. And based on... Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a choice. Your goal was to stabilize these zombies so that they wouldn't be used in combat. The ones that are strewn about his back. The ones that were reaching for you just now.
Mm-hmm.
If you go all in, like dive in to touch as many of these zombies as possible and possibly get grabbed by them instead of using your shield, I will let you roll a d12 for the number of zombies that you will neutralize. Meaning the number of zombies that are not in the tank right now. D12. Otherwise, it's a 6.
Hold on, I think I need to roll concentration because I was hit for a rave enfeeblement.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
That's a plus
It is
concentration.
concentration,
So, 12.
So the concentration
Or
is...
does it have it? That concentration is flat, right?
Well, so it's the amount of damage that you took. How much did you take? You took
11,
right? Oh yeah, you would fail for sure. Unfortunately.
Okay, so it's no longer.
Yeah. So the frame of movement just gets deactivated. So at this point, your choice: are you going like in, or are you just trying to touch it quickly and then get out of there with Misty Step?
You say it's a difference between D6 and
D6
D12.
D12 in terms of the number of zombies that would be removed from the fight. And for the record, I think they're like 16 or 18 on its back right now.
I'm going all in.
All in, baby! D12 matters! D12 matters.
Please. Alright. A 10!
Let's go!
That is worth it.
This is where I have to. I'm obliged to double check it's not a D20.
Great! Winton, as you see this crazy person touch down and fully embrace the death-like grip of these creatures, his magic from his amulet or from his holy relic comes into play as he starts touching all of these creatures. Justin has literally placed Jordan's mini inside of the glass container with all the zombies. And as they open up to embrace you, you start touching them with this gentle repose. I know gentle repose is supposed to only affect one creature. Don't at me. This is one creature, so to speak. And I love it. Remove 10 dice from the container right now.
Yes.
Technically, they're there. Technically, it's still that big, but they're inert. They're deactivated.
2, 3, 4.
So as he's doing that, amazing turn. Tom, you are next.
Hey, what was that about dice in front of us mean the amount of...
That's why they call him Winton.
Oh, and because you've basically allowed yourself to be ingested, you're going to take impale damage right now on his legendary action.
Alright.
Wait, do you not?
Oh, you know what? No. You already took the necrotic damage, so I'm gonna have it happen.
Do you still get your bonus action though?
Do I still get my bonus action?
No, he
Gentle
committed.
repose. Gentle repose is an action.
Wait a second. Can I use my 2 spirit points to use a action as a reaction?
You may do that, yes. Okay, it's Nathan. I need to summarize all the amazing things that happened right after this point. So, Winton has just done this gentle repose, diving deep into the Corpseweaver and touching so many of these zombies that they become inert. But then, when he uses his special ability, using these 2 spirit points in order to summon the spirits of his necklace, his Black Jade necklace, he channels divinity, his cleric ability. And something happens that you would never expect for a cleric alone. As soon as he does this, all of the zombies that are on the Corpseweaver's back, they begin to sort of writhe and crawl up, separating from one another in horror from this channel divinity turn undead that's right in front of them. But, in addition to that, you see that Winton starts wincing in pain and then screams as these 7 voices inside of him start struggling for power. And then he rolls some dice, and it turns out that 4 out of his 7 souls that are inside of his necklace and that are keeping him alive, they are ejected from his necklace. They shoot up into the sky. They actually join the cloud of spirits that sort of are the waning tide up in the sky. And then he immediately loses 24 max HP, more than half of his max HP as a result of this. He then has a vision, very briefly, where he takes on the form of a man that he'll come to know by the name of Torin, one of the souls or the spirits, the sounds that are in his necklace. He is on a farm. He's got a daughter named Tamora, and there are these amethyst soldiers that come in a carriage to his house. They yell and scream. They beat him, and then they break down his door because apparently he didn't cooperate with them. They use cryptic language like, if only you had worked with us, then this wouldn't have happened. And after all that happens, he snaps back, and Torin speaks directly to him. He's unobstructed by the 7 voices competing in his necklace and says that if he wants to, he can use, once per long rest, he can use an ability called Channel Undead. And the language of that was given to Jordan at the session was, let me double check here. So it says that on a bonus action, if a creature within 30 feet that you see drops to 0 HP, you can send one of your souls to occupy that body freely until your next long rest or until you fall unconscious. You, so this would be Winton, loses 6 max HP but regains it again when the soul returns. And Torin volunteers to be one of those souls that Winton can now send. So Winton now knows, okay, his max HP is dropped. He's got these souls that he might be able to send into other creatures in order to temporarily possess them for his or his party's means. And then the fight commences. Aerie decides that she wants to use
Nova's daggers that she found grabbed right when she was leaving the Celestial Conservatory, because she sees as this Corpseweaver monstrosity uses a brand new move. It takes these zombies that it has skewered on its tendrils, lifts it above its head, and starts supercharging it with this black, pulsating, bubbly energy. And then when she sees that these creatures are going to be thrown in their direction, creating this effect, this exploding effect, she picks up her daggers, and for the very first time she's preparing them for combat, she learns what Nova's daggers do. They have an ability called Celestial Portent, and the way it works is that on a hit, so when she rolls and hits a target, she gets to see everything that will happen for the 6 seconds following that attack, seeing temporarily into the future for just a second. So as she prepares to throw it, she actually sees something very helpful for the fight. She sees that when she throws it, intending to strike one of these supercharged zombie projectiles and explode it, that black liquid that was filling it up would drip down and explode over a shower of zombies that are underneath the Corpseweaver and will infect them, turning them into their own explosive zombie-like corpse bombs. And so at the last second, she decides, oh no, I can't do that, pivots and throws it into a different zombie and instantly killing it as Sable watches on. Meanwhile, Cypress sees that some of these infected zombies are coming towards his side, and so he wants to cast Thunderwave, intending to push one of the explosive creatures into King Grimthorn, trying desperately to maybe infect him with this disease. And he does succeed. He gets, I think it was a nat 20, and so he does a little pool action where he hits one into another, kind of bouncing them backwards into what he hoped would be some damage for King Grimthorn, but he is not affected by this poison. Meanwhile, we see that Mordecai goes totally Fire Lord as he summons Ichiban, this boisterous, confident cook character that loves providing hot meals, and so he pulls out that ring of scorching ray, and while these creatures are above the Corpseweaver's head, he supercharges that fire ability, and he melts them into like a molten surface that drips down and does extra damage to the Corpseweaver. So he gets boom, 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 3 scorching rays strike it, and King Grimthorn is not very happy with that. But while that's happening, in a way that I think King Grimthorn would have been happier with, Tom tosses some ice knives out and does exploding some AoE damage that also slows down the regen process of the Corpseweaver. And so the rounds are continuing to progress. We're moving into 1 round left until detonation. And by detonation, I mean that the towers would presumably collapse and crush it. And they get down to just 35 HP left. And even still, so many of the zombies that have now crowded into this church begin beating on this thing until it is down to, I think I remembered rolling down to exactly 2 or 3 HP left. And then, as that all happened, the final round that was sort of preset ended, and the entire church began to topple down, with everybody getting out of dodge. And so, as time goes down, the entire church is prepared to collapse. So all of the heroes, they get out of the way, the towers collapse, and exactly as planned, as this creature has only 3 HP left, it collapses the towers inward, the roof falls in, it crushes the Corpseweaver, and it is brought to permanent destruction. Under rubble and dirt and soil and sand and a few other things, it is now completely dead, and these creatures, these zombies that are crushed underneath it, some of them are squirming and still alive, most of them are dead because they were so frail to begin with, and King Grimthorn has a few last straggling zombies that he simply kicks and then stabs. And then what we find next is that he is completely unfazed by all of this. This seems like another day at the office for him, and as Cypress looks on, he simply takes his staff, he stabs it into each of these creatures, activates it with a twist, and starts bringing them back to life. The party begins thinking about what they're going to do next. Are they actually going to let him resurrect all these zombies? He resurrects 2 more. Now there are about 5 of total, and there are at least 20 more he can resurrect that he lost in the fight. Cypress starts talking to the others. He makes a knowing glance to some of the people behind the building to make sure that perhaps Tom or Mordecai can think about what to come next. Mordecai goes to Sable, and he attempts to cast Charm on him, but Sable successfully saves against it. And instead, when Mordecai proposes that now is the time, they can overthrow King Grimthorn and take the shard, Sable's very simple response is, we are not the same person. And Sable seems resolved to work for Mordecai, or for King Grimthorn for one reason or another. As the rest of this is wrapping up, there's a lot of pressure internally. Aerie performs an excellent stealth of like 24. He slips into the rubble and successfully cordons off one quadrant, successfully cordons off a section, and that even finds the Corpseweaver underneath all of this rubble and is hidden from the troops of King Grimthorn as he is slowly resurrecting them. And Tom is on standby using mold earth to kind of sift the sand underneath her so she can quickly find where this shard is, maybe steal it and run away. But as Winton yells in the direction of King Grimthorn, saying, "We had a deal. Now you will take us to the Umbral corruption." His response is simple as it is curt. He simply says, "I will never help you." And something inside Cypress simply snapped. He decided, even in the midst of Aerie and Tom desperately trying to grab this device of Mordecai, living into the fact that he really just survived his first major encounter with all these deadly beasts. And as they are discussing the King Grimthorn, he casts Moonbeam, destroying two of the zombies and directly attacking King Grimthorn, permanently giving up the guys that they were ever working for him. And as Aerie furiously digs through and even succeeds one more time to get close to the final source of this Black Jade shard in the Corpseweaver itself, King Grimthorn simply turns, yells, and casts a major spell. I believe that's where we're going to pick up right again as our audio recording was fixed. We hope that you enjoy the end of the session. Thanks so much for listening. So, Mordecai, as you were just discussing with Sable, trying to convince you, he unconvinced, looking at you saying, "What? We are not the same," with like a certainty in his eyes. This Moonbeam spell comes down, does 14 radiant damage to these creatures, including Grimthorn. Two of the zombies just sort of vaporizing. Grimthorn grimacing. He turns around and immediately spots Cypress. And his bellow, this guttural, like supersonic yell that is as gross as it is otherworldly. And then he says, "You don't want to face me." And as that happens, you see the Black Jade shard on his belt buckle glow ever so brightly. He is immediately going to cast something, but I need to give you two one more round to see if you can get a little bit closer.
So wait, is this the start of his turn?
No. This is like a reaction to
Okay.
what you just did. So I'm giving these two one more thing, and then we're done. And we're gonna
Okay.
finish. So Aerie, Tom, you now have synced up. You kind of found out where she was at. You're going to give her advantage on this because of your like little sifting maneuver. You technically need 2 more successes, but if you
Okay.
crit, then you will immediately find it.
I am still trying to roll lower than.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, go roll me perception, and then we'll do the luck thing.
So how fast is Grimthorn? Like, if we find this,
60?
can we run away, or are we still gonna have to fight him? Because if we're gonna still be fighting him,
I'm just gonna turn around and get ready.
yeah.
I
So I'd rather have one more
I think
turn of
having this gem
casting spells.
would be helpful to us in the fight.
Having this gem will be helpful. to us
Aerie,
to run away.
it is your choice. You
Yeah.
hear all of this happen. It's
I'll
not
follow
a
your
mystery
lead.
to you.
Okay.
So right now you're hitting
Because-
the rubble.
Because I don't know that I would know what's going on. You would be the one to turn around.
There are no active zombies near me. I am between them and the stone, right?
Right.
Okay.
And no one important is paying attention to
Uh huh.
And you're sneaky and stealthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, roll perception first.
17.
That's good. Roll lower than that.
13.
Okay, so all that really happens is Aerie is dutifully, as this chaos is ensuing outside, she's dutifully like, okay, got it. Okay, it's in this section. And as you are digging through, I think what you're surprised to find is you've now located the kind of the core of the corpse of this creature. And there is no more flesh that's attached to it. It was like the flesh itself was artificially sewn onto it, and even the tendrils lay limp on the ground. You're able to much more easily, because it's not forcing itself together, begin to pry back the bones that are there between you and the core. You haven't found it yet. And that means that, Tom, you gave her your advantage on this roll. So
right.
roll your perception again, and I'll just tell you, the only thing that's at stake is if you roll a 20, you'll instantly find it. That's all that matters.
Not one.
Okay, cool.
You're
Well,
Thanks.
so yeah, hey, why not? The advantage was on the one that you rolled and turned into 17. So, so you're able to successfully get to this particular part. You do hear that the zombies are coming closer around you. They're basically surrounding you because they're one by one. You went
Would
into
they
the
still-
rubble. They're starting to lift the rubble away.
Would they still be going in this direction because of because of what Cypress just did?
This all happened at the same time, so
Okay.
they're there now. I'm gonna assume that they're going to change their focus based on what Grimthorn himself directs them to do. But on reaction, and this is the final thing for today, Grimthorn.
Wait. Take a picture of the board so we can have it for next time.
Yeah, good point. Did one of you do that just so because I would hate to forget something like that.
Call back my camera.
You
You don't want to witness the murder of a king?
No, let's not show that we just straight up attacked royalty. We'll leave that to the imagination.
Great. So as this happens, as
He
this
didn't do
moonbeam
anything.
comes down,
It's on me.
as he suffers this damage, turns around, you see this huge spell that he casts. And this is really funny how this turned out. I need Airy only to roll a perception check.
Oh no.
8.
Perception?
Yeah, I've got a +3. I rolled a 5.
Oh, that's right.
Black Jade Shard glows. He shouts, he stabs his spear into the ground, and that guttural bellow roars out, and you see a shockwave of black necrotic energy shoot out from him. But it's more misty than anything else, not the liquidy stuff we discussed. And none of you know that this is happening. But as the DM and as your friends, I might as well tell you.
It's probably fun.
Really
This
fun.
is definitely fine.
In an era long ago, before these lands were owned by Queen Serafra or King Grimthorn or Count Volheim, the feudal lords were smaller. They still had necromantic abilities, but not in such consolidated ways. This church was just a meeting place for one of these lords before walled cities were required, like Widowsburg. And whenever they fought battles, they would, dutifully to the Lord Kellenvor, bury them. Here, under the church. Under the church, that a sorcerer dug the earth from underneath in order to make this structure fall. A church under which a huge, collapsing, exploding influence pounded the ground and began to crack the ground, the soft, marshy lands that are underneath it. And underground, what you may not hear is that rows of bodies hear the beckoning call of a powerful necromantic lord, and they begin to, in their soft dirt graves, now, what will happen to our heroes as they choose to directly confront King Grimthorn and possibly some dead soldiers from a bygone era? Well, you'll just have to tune in next time to find out right here on the Umbral Harbingers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Session 3. Next session, just a week from now, will these 5 heroes make it out alive? Will Mordecai, in fact, charm Sable to go on that first date with him? Will Beatrice have 40 more bodies to add to her collection when everyone returns home? Or will King Grimthorn just have a nice little tasty snack? Tune in next time to find out. Everyone say goodbye!
Bye. Possibly forever.